Cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna...
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, everybody? It's Marcus Grant from NFL Network.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up, yeah. Go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down, cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right, cause I roll my sleeves up.
What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta. This is Get Right Fantasy Network. It's week 9. The season's almost over, guys. It's my favorite show, the roster management show. We're here to do our buy, sell, hold, trade targets tonight. And I'm here with my boy Fish and Frank. How's it going, Frank? How you doing this
What up,
Wednesday?
what's up, people? How's it going tonight? Happy Halloween, belated. Hope everybody had a good time last night. But we got to keep rolling on with this fantasy football. Some interesting news today, though, huh?
Absolutely. We definitely got some nice teasers there in the news. We got the Raiders doing Raider-like things.
Raider things, right.
We had a couple of signings yesterday. Pretty quiet trade deadline day, but we'll talk about a couple of those things. Really fantasy-wise, Dobbs going over to Minnesota is probably really the only big one, which I actually didn't put in the news and notes for whatever reason, but I'm glad I mentioned it there. We'll make sure I write that in there. Let me add that in there. It's probably a good one to talk about when we get there. But yeah, so let's get into it, man. So for those of you guys who are new here to the channel, we're here with you guys Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Mondays, Frank and I do our overreaction and waiver wire show. Wednesdays, like tonight, we're doing our roster management, buy, sell, trade. And on Friday nights, Classic Mike and I, it'll still be Classic. My son made the playoffs, so it'll be one more week at least, hopefully more. But
Right.
I won't quite be here. Yeah, on the Start Sit show, we go game by game and break down who we're starting, who we're sitting, and of course take your live Q&A, all 3 of those shows. And then we're here for you guys Sunday morning. Classic Mike does his active and actives list, last minute start sit advice to get your lineups right, heading right up to kickoff. For those of you guys who are maybe watching this later, not live, check out the description. I'm going to throw the timestamps in there in the chapters so you can navigate your way through the show. We do take a lot of Q&A here, so don't be deterred by the 2.5 hour, or 2 hour or longer videos that we do. But we want to make sure we answer your guys' questions here. So if you do have questions, make sure you drop them in the chat. And more importantly, when you do ask us a question, because we are starting, now that we hit 1,000 subscribers here, we have a lot of stuff going on in the chat, people talking to each other. So hit like at Rastafarn or just at Rasta or at Frank in the chat so we know you're talking to us.
Get right.
Yeah, or at Get Right, something like that. Throw that in there so it easily helps us get through those questions and try to tidy up the show for you guys a little bit, not have too much dead air time, but I usually don't have that happen. And like I said, man, make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button for us to help support the channel. If you're already subscribed, make sure you hit that like button. It helps us out just as much as a subscribe. So it helps with that algorithm, gets us out to more people. Yeah, we'll continue to grow and keep bringing this content here for you guys. Also, keep your eyes out for that 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We're going to be doing that here soon. We're all trying to coordinate, all 4 of us, different time zones, different areas, but we're going to all 4 get on, put that 1,000 subscriber giveaway show together. And when we do, we're going to give out an awesome ring from our boys. See, you were on it. You were on it tonight. There you go. I saw you messing with your mic and stuff. I wasn't sure if you were gonna get there.
It was showing me dead battery, and I was like, "Oh, I better play that."
There we go. So yeah, man. So we're gonna give away this 1,000 subscriber ring from our boys over at TrophySmack.com. And Frank, why don't you tell the guys out here a little bit about Trophy Smack and what you can find there?
Well, Trophy Smack is the premier source for all your swag for your fantasy football leagues. They do custom rings, just like the one you see in there. This one right here that you could just customize with your team logo, name, whatever you want on it. I'm a fan of the belts, fantasy football belts. I think those look good. You hang them on your wall. You have something to brag around, take out, exercise. Trophies are always nice. You could even put the championships down at the bottoms. I seen a guy in Reno walking around with his trophy. I had to take a picture of that dude. I was like, that's
Yeah,
what's up. And then you got the Kirk Cousins chains and whatnot here, so you can get the big swag again. All customizable, different colors. Everything's available out there, and they're supporting the show. So if you do go to their website, make sure you type in the Get Right Fantasy. They just Get Right code, so they could get us some money here, so we support the channel one way or another. So that's the way to do it, man. And them guys got all kinds of stuff, and even for the losers. I mean, if you guys got some losers in the league, and you need them to have them some, get the Sacco or whatever, and
toilet seat, yeah, all that kind of stuff.
some kind of T-shirt that says "I suck at fantasy football" like we do, just something. Because there's got to be something for the winner and something for the loser out there. So yeah, they got everything for in between.
Absolutely. And like you said, man, make sure you guys use that promo code Get Right at checkout. And yeah, it does help support the channel here. So speaking of and we have the link in the description there. So make sure you guys go check that out. So we got George LeBron in the house, man. What's up, LeBron? How's it going? I'm sure LeBron's always out here supporting us. He's in the sleeper threads, posting his team on there, helping, trying to get everybody's help in there. He has a real tough league there. So hopefully he has an opportunity to bounce back. Tough choices,
he just said
he's
he
having to
got
make.
Josh
So
Allen last night.
let's go. That's how
what's
you
up.
come up. That's what's up.
up.
Hopefully he didn't give away too much, but I don't know if there is to give away too much to get Josh Allen. So very nice. We got Neanderthal in the house. What's up, Neanderthal? How's it going, man? He was texting me, asking me, "Hey, you guys doing a show tonight?" I had an event for work. I barely just got home. I had to run out here, get all set up. That's why we're a little late today. More late than usual. But we were able to squeeze it all in. So I'm happy to be out here.
On time for the being late, really. Honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're like on our normal time, but for me, I had a bunch of stuff going on. So I was actually trying to be here at 9 tonight, but things happen with work. We got to pay the bills. If you guys want us, here even earlier, and we could just do this full time, keep supporting the channel, use our sponsors, and hey, we'll be here for you guys. We'll do a 24-hour stream if we can get set up like that, man. Absolutely. But we got George in the house coming in here with one of the first questions. Let's throw up that little live chat Q&A banner. Helps me with those chapters. So he says, hey guys, Quentin Johnson or Demario Douglas rest the season. So Frank, you like Quentin Johnson or Demario Douglas?
I was looking at the points, looking at who they have left to play as well, remaining schedule here. Quentin Johnson's done past his bye. Demario Douglas does have a bye coming up in week 11. And mostly I think about the quarterback that's throwing to these wide receivers. And this end, you have Demario Douglas with New England with Mac Jones over there. And then on the other side, you have, the Chargers with, I can't even think of his name right.
Justin Herbert. How'd you know Mac Jones, but not Herbert?
It just slipped in my mind, man.
We're getting warmed up. It's the beginning of the show.
It just slipped in my mind. So and that's kind of like what I look at. Secondly, obviously the schedule. So considering that he doesn't have a bye and he has a better quarterback throwing to him, a better higher power offense on this side in the Chargers, I think I'd go with Quentin Johnson at this point. Although I think Demario Douglas is more the number one on their side, right?
Yeah. The thing you really want to pay attention to here is this Josh Palmer injury. And I hate kind of making rest of the season kind of conversations. Like the biggest thing for people is it's like what's going to do for me here or the short-term future, because you never know what's going to happen later, who's going to be the next hot thing, or someone gets hurt or something like that. So don't think so permanently. You got to be fluid, just like we say when we're drafting, all off season, when we're rolling those sleeves up, getting those drafts in, it's all about being fluid. So same thing as you're managing your team, throughout the year, you got to be fluid. When you're making these decisions, think of it more as like a 2 or 3 week, when you're talking about these stashes. Obviously you have your more long-term stashes and short-term stashes. So it really kind of just depends on what you're dealing with up top with your starters as well. In this case, I think there's a higher upside potentially for with Quentin Johnson attached to Herbert in that offense if Josh Palmer goes down and Quentin Johnson is able to actually take advantage of his opportunity. But you never know how he's going to take advantage of it, right? We saw Gibbs early on get an opportunity when DeMont first got hurt, he didn't really take advantage of that. Demont was able to come back and still produce, and then obviously Demont gets hurt again, and then Gibbs kind of blows up these last couple games. So now we're all kind of like, what's going to happen with Demont, right? Like you would ask me 2-3 weeks ago, Demont or Gibbs rest of the season, I would have said Demont, but now you never know. Recency bias is a real thing here in fantasy. But for me, I like having the guy attached to a better quarterback, attached to a team that just scores more points in general. Right now, the Chargers are the fourth most scoring wide receiver room currently right now. And the Patriots are sitting down at 28th. So to me, I'm taking the guy that is part of a wide receiver group that puts up fantasy points. So I'll take my chances with Quentin Johnson, even though he is the number 2, of course, or maybe considered even the number 3 behind, Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. So he's kind of like the third option in the passing game. Yeah. So,
he's taking up some bites now. Now that he's back, he is getting his number of catches as well.
Exactly. But yeah, if that Palmer injury starts to linger, then I think there could be a breakout opportunity, for Quinn Johnson. Yeah. So there we go. So hopefully that helps out, George. I don't know if it helped you. I don't know if we gave you a real answer there or not. But we don't try to make the decisions for you guys. We just want to let you know what we're thinking, our perspective. Maybe we thought of something that you didn't, and vice versa. So that's what we're here for, man. So hopefully that helped you out. Just kind of depends. You want the number 3 option, in a more potent passing game, or do you want the number 1 option, in a less volume scoring, plus a guy who plays, in the snow. They got bad weather games coming up here soon. Quentin Johnson's going to be in a dome most of the games. I think he only has like 2 more outdoor games like the rest of the year. So just, those are all the things you kind of want to, talk about. So, or consider when you're making that decision. So there you go. What else we got in the chat there, Frank?
I'm
trying to look up this Josh Palmer news. I was like, why can't I find Josh Palmer? It's because they has him as Joshua Palmer in sleepers. So I was like, what's going on there?
I just type in Palmer instead of going first name, go last name. I always go with last name. Derek said, "What's up, guys?" And then LeBlanc says, "I think I have away too much, to be honest. Gave up Pacheco, Mixon, and it leaves me with Saquon, White, and Connor, which I think you're fine with those running backs. Kind of in a win now situation. Pacheco has the next bye week, so I guess it's not the worst. And yeah, you gave a guy away who was going to not give you any. You had a bye week there, so it's a good trade for you. I don't think you gave away too much. I think that's a great trade. That's a good trade. That's a fair trade for both sides.
To get the number 1 quarterback right now.
Yeah. He's getting the number 1 quarterback, and he's getting some decent running backs, probably helping him out, helping your team out. You're doing all right, man. I wouldn't worry about it.
And you still have Saquon. Like most people don't have 2 running backs like as good as just Saquon and as one. So the fact that you still have Saquon and Pacheco and Connor coming off IR soon, I think you'll be fine. You'll just have to play that RB2 roller coaster like we're all kind of doing during bye weeks and just regular weeks as well too. I mean, I'm starting like Amari DiMarcado. Hopefully he plays, dealing with the toe issue right now. And like somebody else, like I'm just like, ooh, there's some. But because I drafted so wide receiver heavy, especially in the half PPR and PPR leagues that I'm at, that point difference, because I went wide receiver heavy and built my team around not having to rely on those running backs, I'm still in pretty good shape, just kind of playing this RB2 kind of carousel. But the teams that I drafted a running back in the first round, like Chubb, I have 3 teams that I drafted Chubb in the first round, and those teams are hurting. In one league, I drafted Chubb and JK.
That's because you were drafting this hero RB also. It's not like you were drafting 2 running backs. You were grabbing one.
Well, one of them I drafted pretty early because, some of the league, just how things fall. You don't want the same team everywhere. So like, I was like, all right, let me go Chubb. And then I grab like JK as my RB2 and like just completely wrecked like after like 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, not a good situation there. So that happens. But that's why I play in 16 leagues, because when one door closes, another one opens.
They're not all winners. They can't all be winners.
Exactly.
But he does say at least I get one QB1 and feels like it improves my team's floor each week. And yeah, it more than improves your team's floor each week.
I agree. And go ahead.
Sorry about that. It just improves your team overall, not just the floor. But I mean, I think that depending on who else you have on wide receiver, but it sounds like you're pretty good at running back. Like we were saying, you should be fine. I think that was
Hmm.
a good trade for both sides, and you're probably going to come up at the end of the by the end of the year have more points. Who was your quarterback, by the way? Who are you getting rid of, basically, or just sitting on the bench now as a backup? Just wondering who
Yeah,
was
good
replacing.
question.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, who was your quarterback there first? So, and I
Yeah.
think it's a 10-team league that he's in. So, like, you want to make sure if you're getting like, you want top end talent versus depth anyway. So, I think it was a great trade, especially now that we're, week 9, we're getting closer to the playoffs. Week 2 might have been a little rough, but I mean, not even really. I would have traded that. I would have done that same trade week 1 or week 9,
Yeah,
anywhere in
exactly.
between. Yeah.
So we
So
got G
I
Hop
would have
in
done that
here,
during the draft. Yeah, go ahead.
right? We got G Hop in here saying, "Sup guys, thoughts on O'Connell named Raider starter and Josh McDaniels being fired?"
Keep watching. We're getting to that when we get to our news topics. So we'll get to
Well,
that here as soon as we get through here.
couldn't be happier.
There you go. There you go. So he
Both
said
ways,
fantasy wise and football wise.
both
So
ways. Yeah, yeah.
perfect. Perfect. All right. So Warrior Loft. Go ahead, Frank.
Warrior Loft coming in saying Ravens DST versus the Seahawks or Jets versus the Chargers. Atlanta's versus the Vikes backup QB or Raiders versus the Giants. I feel Raiders suck at stopping the run so bad, and Giants could run the ball all day. So he's basically playing waiver wire with a defense. It sounds like, and he's looking to see who should be who the matchup should be this weekend. Um, and I'm probably leaning towards
I want Atlanta. Like I go
yeah,
Atlanta.
Atlanta
uh,
versus the Vikings. Yeah,
yeah. Atlanta, Baltimore,
Baltimore's against the Seahawks.
Jets, and then Raiders.
I'm
Just
not
because you
sure if
really
that's
should
bad.
never be starting the Raiders, do you? But
Yeah,
I mean, they're all
Jets,
right.
Jets, Jets, and Ravens probably, even though they have tougher matchups, they're still producing fantasy points regardless. That what I mean, they still get their sacks. They might get an interception, whatever it is that they need to do to get those fantasy points. I wouldn't necessarily rely on the fact that they're going to keep the score low. More of takeaways and other things that they could produce for you.
Yeah.
Because
And it's hit or miss
better
with
defense is
defenses.
still
Warrior Loft, tell your commissioner, stop playing with kickers and defense. Vote it out.
whatever.
Add an extra
They're
flex
fine.
spot or 2 in there.
They're
It'll be a
fine.
lot
I
fun.
don't know what this guy's talking about.
or if you're gonna leave defense in there, go switch over to IDP. Is much better.
Okay.
I hate team defenses, man. It just irks me. It irks me because they should be scoring way more than like 8 or 9 points, and then sometimes they go off for like 22 if they score defense. It's like
Yeah,
it's
if you
literally
got a
just
good
like
one,
it's like luck. It's
you got
like
a
they're
good
not
like
scoring
defense like Dallas. Like
touchdowns every week.
scoring 2-3 touchdowns and
Nah,
you're
it's
fine.
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's such a wasted spot in fantasy, but that's neither here nor there. We could debate that another day. Go ahead. We got Derek in the chat. Go ahead, Frank.
Eric's saying send Lamb, Olavi, and Mostert for Chase, Monty, half PPR, 2 flex dots. My other running backs are Eckler, Kamara. Other wide receivers are McLaurin, Hollywood, Palmer, and Osborne. So he's moving Lamb, Olave, and Mostert to get Chase and Monty.
I think I
I
would
don't
want to
know.
do this. I
You
think I
do?
would take the chance, man. You get Jamar Chase. He's been balling. And Demont hopefully coming back here pretty soon.
See, I
I
think
mean, I
Demont's
kind of
going to be
hate
in the
giving up
timeshare
Lamb
with
and
Gibbs, like
Olave,
you were
but
talking about. Lamb's just got fired up, so I think you're kind of selling high on him because he is the number one over there, and they're kind of rolling now with him. They're throwing more than they are running the ball, so I kind of want to
Olave
keep
keeps
Lamb.
just dropping the ball. I don't
Yeah, and
know, man.
Olave just can't grab onto it for whatever reason. Mostert is a good move on him. I like the fact that you're moving to Mostert because A-Chain should be back soon.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not that bad. I mean, if you talk it through a little bit more, Chase is solid, right? Obviously, so yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Do it. Like, that's what it's going to take to get him. So
Yeah, I was gonna say like I don't think you're overpaying. You might be paying a little much if you put
I
it
think
in some kind of calculator or something,
I
but
think you're paying a little bit much
I
because
like taking
Lamb
the
and
chances
Olave,
on it.
both of them together, I think you could maybe do Lamb and Mostert to get Chase and Monty. But I think you could throw somebody lower than Olave in there to like not hurt your team as much.
Yeah, like if you could
Throw
throw
in
in
like Hollywood
Hollywood
or
instead.
Palmer.
Yeah, see, we're both saying the same way. If you could keep Olave, throw in Hollywood instead. or even go Hollywood and Palmer. Like I would go give Lamb, Hollywood, and Palmer and Mostert for Chase and Monty.
Yeah.
I would try to do that first. Even if you had to go McLaurin over Olave, I would,
Yeah.
you know
Because
me.
he's going to catch
I
those
want to
balls
move
eventually,
Hollywood.
dude. He can't keep dropping them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're going to be practicing.
Still the guy, hey, Kyler Murray's coming back, man. Week 10, you're going to have Hollywood. When he had him, he has averaged 17 points per game with Kyler. And just really sell that fact. And maybe you can make that happen. Lamb and, because I think you're going to have to include Lamb to get Chase. So don't get too dentisty like I do and try to keep Lamb. But if you can keep Chase, Olave, and McLaurin as your wide receivers there, and then you're just kind of that second flex dealing with Palmer, Osborne, or somebody else, then Demon in there. You're gonna have Kamara, Eckler, of course. I like that trade, man. So I would do it. I personally would do it, but I'm a big time Chase fan, so he can just literally win you weeks, though.
Yeah. I'm just worried that Monty's not going to be. Well, I guess you're going to be getting the same as what you would get for Mostert, because Monty's going to be sharing time now with Gibbs for sure.
Yeah.
There's no going back. The box has been open. You know what I mean? Like the Pandora box.
I don't know.
I
Could
think
be.
that Monty's going to get those goal line touches and things like that, but they're going to be 50-50, dude. They're going to have to timeshare it for
It's
sure.
gonna be close. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see
What's
for
up,
sure.
Squidward Squidward in
Go
the
ahead.
house? What up, guys?
How's it going,
And
Squidward?
then LeBron answered the question. He has CJ Stroud on.
Yeah, great
that's
come up,
gonna be
dude. Great come up.
Yeah, you're doing good, dude. Don't even trip.
I think
You're
he had
doing good.
Kirk Cousins go down or something like that. So
You had to make
that's
a move,
why he
right?
was stuck with Stroud. Yeah, and what a move to make. So well done. So go ahead. Squidward says Mike Thomas. Oh yeah, I'll let you kind of run the chat.
Okay, there you go.
Let you take the lead. I'll read this one though, since you kind of read the other ones. Mike Thomas or Hollywood Brown this week. He has Amon Ra on bye. So you going with Mike Thomas or Hollywood Brown?
I'm going with Hollywood Brown. No, you know what? I'm gonna stick with Mike Thomas. Now that I think about
you
it,
got Clayton Tune. Starting
Hollywood
this week. Yeah,
I was
I'll
thinking
go with
Hollywood
Mike
Brown
Thomas.
was still having Dobbs, but Dobbs is now gone. And not to say that Clayton Tune can't come in there and do what Dobbs is doing, but we got to see it, right? We
Yeah,
got to see it
you know
first.
me.
So you wanted Michael Thomas is actually not doing
Just
too
doing
terrible
his.
this season.
No, he's just doing his thing. Like I said,
Yeah.
you're gonna get 7-8 points for the most part. You're lucky if, like he got 11 against Jacksonville. This is half PPR. But yeah, for the most part, I mean, he's seeing 7, 8, or 9 targets, and he's getting anywhere from like 3 to 5 catches or so, maybe 6 or 7 on a good week. And you just hope maybe he scores a touchdown here or there, and he'll get into
4
the
catches
end zone.
in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. 4 catches.
Yeah.
6 to 7 targets, but 4 catches, getting you about, I'd say, average about 6 points. 6 points.
Yeah. And he gets Chicago this week, so it's a great matchup.
You like to look at it, Steady Eddie or go boom or bust with Hollywood Brown, with Tune there as quarterback. So,
yeah, I think I'll go Mike Thomas, lock in your 8 points, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Or maybe a little more in full PPR. So
Cal Vista's in the house here saying, hey, what's up, fam? What's up, man? How you doing?
How's it going, Cal Vista?
And Neanderthals Respine, he couldn't be happier also. And he's talking about, dude, this is Jacob's owner. I'm ecstatic and terrified at the same time.
Yeah, we'll get into that here shortly when we get into our news. We'll definitely talking about that. That's our number one topic.
Yeah.
Go to Cal Vista's thing there too. Oh yeah, and since we had more people roll in now, if you can, when you're asking your questions, try to put at Rasta or at Frank or at Get Right. So that we know it's a question for us as you guys kind of talk amongst yourselves in there.
There's more guys and more chat going on. It really does help to start your question with that, because then we could just kind of scroll through the comments and get to
see it right away.
Your question faster and sooner here. So Cal Vista did come up with the question here, was offered Eckler, Ayuk, and Dillon for JT, Godwin, and Kittle. I have Kincaid and other backs are Jacobs, Kamara, and Pierce. Wideouts are T. Hill, Nico, and Watson. So he's offered Eckler, Ayuk, and Dillon for JT, Godwin, and Kittle.
I think I would take that trade.
I would go for Eckler.
Yeah, I'll take Eckler and Ayuk to bolster your wide receiver. You get a top 3-2 running back with that. You get AJ Dillon as a little more depth there.
Yeah.
And you already have Kincaid. I think he'll be fine. And worst case, again, unless you're playing against the Kelsey owner, who's probably not doing great this year, depending on who else he drafted. Like that's the only team that really has the advantage over at the tight end position. Like everywhere else, they're all just trying to hope for a touchdown for the most part too. Like maybe Hawkinson, you got Laporta's been doing pretty well.
Anderson's still doing all right.
Hits here and there. So but he's not going like crazy. Like he's not putting up like 25, 30-point games. Yeah, like 2 touchdowns, 100 yards. Like so you're hoping your tight end scores a touchdown. And again, you got Kincaid who's attached to Josh Allen. Keep building off of that production last week. I'd pull the trigger on this, just to kind of shake things up. So, you're getting an upgrade over, Eckler over JT. Yeah. Ayuk, I think, is a little better than Godwin right now. Well, once the Niners get out of their little shithole they're in at the moment. And then, Kittle's better than Dylan, but you're getting the upgrade elsewhere. So, yeah, I don't think it's a bad call at all.
And Derek had a follow up on that. His thing is I might ask him to throw in Judy too, only other player that makes sense for him. Oh, to kind of even out the trade there, because he was talking about taking Lamb, Olavia, Mostert, and chasing money, and then if he threw in,
oh yeah, if you can get like a throw-in
Judy,
piece, I'm always for getting another piece, or like again, a Jalen Warren, some kind of running back handcuff. But yeah, if you need if you feel like you're going to need that other receiver, since you're giving up 2 for 1 on the receiver, then yeah, if you can get a Judy or someone like that maybe he's down on for sure.
And I'm always an even Steven type trader too, because then you're not forced to like take 3 for 2 and then you have to drop somebody unless you're already prepared to drop somebody. Sometimes that's not a good deal for you,
or you got bye weeks coming up, where you need that open roster spot. So sometimes it works out.
And check your bye weeks before you do that trade too, because what if you trade into some situation where now you got 3 guys on a bye week or 2 guys on a bye week and no backup?
I'm not worried about that too much.
Evan doesn't worry about it. I do.
I like leaning into my I've totally come around. I hate having a 6 or 7 week time where you have one of your main guys out. I like just leaning into it. I like having 4 or 5 guys out one week, just literally my whole bench is on bye, throw whoever I can in there for a week, and you never know. Sometimes you win. Right? Yeah, I've literally won doing that. And then you have basically the rest of your team at full strength for the rest of the year. Especially if you your first 3 picks, if you can get them all with the same bye week when you're drafting, I love doing that, because then for all the other weeks you have at least your top 3 players, as long as they don't get hurt, of course.
Rolling.
But yeah, I like to just kind of lean into that.
That's draft strategy stuff right there. Now we got to go
exactly.
Back to that.
Make sure you guys are here with us for the off season. Anybody new watching, man? We do our Friday night mocks. We're mocking every Friday night. We do breakdowns. We give draft grades, and just give you our feedback on how to construct teams and make it to where you don't have to rely on these trades, later on, or feel like you're, when you got an injury, you can get a next man up and have your teams built out, very well. So, and then to top it all off, in August, we do our mock draft tournament of champions, where we give out $50 or maybe more this upcoming year if we get a sponsor, which we're working on. And you guys can just for mocking, win some money with us, and helps pass the time leading up to week 1 of the season. So we have Bronson in the house here saying start 2 at the flex. PPR, he has Tank Dell, Jordan Addison, Mike Thomas. Says he could pick up Christian Watson, but he'd have to drop one of those wide receivers for him, or I could drop Sutton for Watson. So start 2 full PPR, Dell, Addison, Thomas. And let's throw Watson or Sutton in there as well as options.
Wait a minute. How could I could drop Sutton or Watson?
Because he also has Sutton too, but he's not considering Sutton.
But he said he could pick up Watson, Christian Watson.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He said he could pick up Watson, but he'd have to drop Dell, Addison, Thomas, or Sutton for Watson.
Oh, for Watson. Oh, okay.
Correct.
I thought it was an or Watson. Okay. Yeah. I would start Tank Dell, Jordan Addison.
Even with Dobbs there?
Even with Dobbs. I think Dobbs is doing all right, man.
I think I'm going to go Michael Thomas with against Chicago. I think he could score a touchdown against them. And I think I would go Jordan Addison as well. So I heard a report today where the Packers were saying Jordan Love may not be their quarterback of the future. So these next 10 games are going to be very important for him. So
he's either going to win or lose his job right now, right?
Yeah, he's on the hot seat. So So we'll get to that. So I'm Madison Thomas, and Frank is Dell and Addison. I guess we both like Addison here, and we're both saying leave Watson on the wire.
Yeah, I
Interestingly, you may
have Watson. I'm almost ready to move off of him. I might pick up Reed instead if you're looking to get somebody to
Jaden Reed
replace. Yeah, Jaden Reed.
over
Same
Watson
team.
on the same team. Yeah, that's
He's
interesting.
been getting the touches and the touchdowns. I mean, touches. I keep saying touches equals touchdowns and all that stuff. Targets equals touches.
Yeah,
So I mean,
I'm like
it's
you.
proofs in
You
the pudding.
honestly
I mean, and
may
he
want to
keeps getting
play
hurt,
Sutton.
and he keeps getting hurt. So like
Oh no,
Watson
he's on
hasn't
a
been
bye.
able to stay on the field. You know what I mean? Like this whole season, he's been like injury prone. So he's got that bug or something. Something's going on with that guy.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't have any Christian Watson anywhere. People are
I
drafting him
do.
too
That's why
high.
I know. I didn't draft him
Okay.
too high, but
He's played over 80% of the snaps in the last 3 games. I don't think he got hurt.
what did he
It
do?
doesn't say anything about
He
him being
got
hurt. He
he
hasn't
got
done anything with those. I mean,
8.6 on against Raiders, then 2.7 against Denver, and 3 points versus Minnesota. And now they're
yeah, I got a
facing the
little bit
Rams, who
higher in
have a
half
pretty.
PPR, but yeah,
But I mean, just a look. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty much there. I mean, that's not much, dude. I'm ready to move on from that dude already. Like
he said I'm ready to move on.
yeah.
All right, well there it is. So yeah, so there you go. He also says Michael Mayer or Musgraves rest of the season. So
That's
there
tough
is no
too.
rest of the season at the tight end position. You're just kind of looking at this week.
Yeah, you should be waiver
I throw
wiring whoever
Musgrave
you can
on there.
grab or whatever.
Yeah, those are your options. Go get Taysom Hill. Go get Frank's guy.
Yeah,
Taysom
yeah.
Hill
Okay,
over those
Taysom Hill if he's
options. I'd rather
available.
have Hill over those options until we see any different.
Who
So,
was the hot waiver wire this week? McBride. I don't know if you were able to get in on
oh
that.
yeah,
You
McBride
should have
maybe
went for
even too.
McBride. That's what I would have done instead of those two
Yeah.
guys. You should have went for
I think I like
McBride
McBride and Hill over Mayer and Musgrave
and Musgrave right now, right?
at the moment. Yeah,
Because Jordan Love ain't
until we
doing
see
it,
Jordan Love bounce
and
back.
then
Yeah, we need to see him bounce back. He
Mayer's
needs a
about to
get
get a
right game.
rookie quarterback. Well, who knows? Maybe it goes well for him because he's going to be dumping it off or something. Who knows?
Yeah, those rookies do tend to kind of target the.
The tight ends and the running
Yeah,
backs. So
yeah. Musgrave hasn't been doing much lately at all,
they're saying Khalil Herbert with the pickup or up to stash.
for sure.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
Foreman. I mean, Foreman had the 3 touchdown game, but his efficiency wasn't too great. It wasn't like he was scoring from like 60 out and juking a bunch of people. Just kind of was in the right place, right time, so to speak. We'll see what happens with Roshan. He came back this week. They kind of split carries a little bit there. But yeah, I would definitely at this point, like you're trying to find running backs anywhere. So if you can pick them up, throw them in your IR for now, and then see how things go when that first weekend and see how they split up the carries. But yeah, I mean, I liked Herbert, so I've been
Yeah.
kind of waiting for him to come back.
Yeah,
And
so
I
if you
picked
can
up
pick him
Foreman
with
in a lot of
stash,
those places. So
yeah,
yeah,
maybe you can put him in IR slot or something if he's out.
for sure. All right, so
There
we
you go.
got
Perry.
yeah, go ahead.
Perry is Amon-Ra, Godwin, or Puka smart for Justin Jefferson. So basically, he's saying he's going to go out for those guys for Justin Jefferson and or Tony Pollard for Kamara. I would go for Kamara definitely. That we're moving on from that part. Amon-Ra, Godwin, or Puka smart for Justin Jefferson.
Godwin only for me.
Maybe Godwin or Puka for Justin Jefferson because stuff's looking rough over there for Minnesota.
Yeah, I would only like if you can do Godwin for Jefferson, I'd take that chance. If not, I'm for sure sticking with Amon-Ra. It's not even a question for me. Puka is kind of right in the middle.
Yeah.
I think the Stafford injury they're saying, and we'll get into that when we get our news and notes. They're not putting him on IR. Maybe he's out a week
He
or
said
so.
there's no way for IR.
Yeah, they said there's no way for IR. He's even McVay even said, and like I said, we'll quote it exactly, but he's given him basically literally up until game time to see if he can grip the ball with that UCL sprain in his right thumb. So and we talked about how tough Stafford is. If he can grip the ball and throw it, then he'll be playing. So in worst case, maybe it's a week, maybe 2 that he's not as efficient, but yeah, I'm still sticking with that, which is crazy.
We're both saying
Only
maybe
because I
Godwin
don't
or
know what
Puka.
Jefferson's going to be with Dobbs. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So we're saying Godwin or Puka for Jefferson. Definitely get Kamara for Pollard if you can. Stick
yeah,
with
I would do that in a
Amon-Ra.
heartbeat. Yeah, Godwin for sure. Puka's if you want to.
Yeah, we got
So-
Smoking the Cat in the house.
What up, Smokey?
So what's up, guys? Should I trade Gibbs? I got offered Olave or Puka. So that guy's got it like, hey, who do you want to take?
Man, that's tough.
That's rough.
I don't
Yeah.
know if that's selling high enough. Yeah, it's not selling high enough for me. Like you
who
might be
else
able
they
to get.
got?
Yeah, like you might want to see who else they got. It's not a bad offer. It's not like an
Yeah.
instant reject. Like at least they
Yeah.
tried to come, you know.
Come with something, but
And
you
I
should be able to
love
get a
when
little
people
bit
give you
more.
the options. They're like, hey, I'll give you Olave
This
or
or that way.
Puka.
Which one you like?
like
Which one you
whichever
like?
one. Like I'm good with. Let me just get Gibbs.
Yeah.
And then there's that small chance that Gibbs does kind of take over the backfield, or maybe Monty gets hurt. He's already been hurt twice, so you know, he might be worth kind of keeping. So unless you're like really dying at wide receiver, 3 wide receiver league, maybe you take a chance on it. If you're 2 wide receivers and you're pretty set, then I might just take my chances with Gibbs and see what he turns out to be. So, you can go. It just really depends on the situation and how you built your team. So it's kind of hard to see that in a vacuum. You would say, okay, yeah, sell high. I'll take a Olave or
I
Puka.
figure these guys are their WR threes, maybe twos.
No way.
Just
I mean, for
Puka's a
like this
waiver wire
week,
pickup, and Olave. I mean, for the other
yeah,
guy.
but he's past that now. Like if we're redrafting right now, Puka's going in like 3rd round probably at the
Yeah,
latest
at the
in
latest.
full PPR with the healthy Stafford.
Yeah. Which brings up this question right here with LeBron. Have Puka and Cup thoughts on about Stafford potentially missing this week and then their bye week next week. Want to move on one of them. I would move on one of them. Personally, I wouldn't have both of them continue to ride like that just because of this injury, and that's why I don't like to having 2 guys on the same
I'm
team.
writing it out.
Anthony doesn't mind it. He likes it. He's comfortable with it. He's like, hey, whatever. It can happen to anybody. And it really
Only
can.
because I have Amari Cooper and Nico Collins and Jahan Dotson to kind of fill in and wait to see what happens. So
So if you
I
don't
mean,
have all that
unless
depth in the
someone
wide
comes,
receiver
yeah.
room, you
But
better
like I
do
said,
what
I
you do.
draft very wide receiver heavy, so I'm able to kind of take these chances in these kind of situations. Because again, my team was fine with Cup, and a couple other people. I think I even have Kirk and somebody else on that team, but I think I dropped somebody since then. I think I had Sutton at one point, ended up dropping him for Puka, I think. But yeah, so me, I'm writing it out. It's a chance I'm willing to take. I'm sitting in first place right now, 7-1 in that league. That's our home league, Frank. That's Rock Stompers. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'll write it. Oh no, I just lost to freaking Smitty. So I'm 6-2 in that one.
So
Hooray,
he took
beer! I'm
over first
7-1.
place.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. We won't
Knocked
talk
you
about
down a
it.
little
I got him right where I want him. That's what
Yeah.
you told me, right?
That's what I told
Got him
you.
right.
I told you
Got him right where I want him.
First place
Just drop
never
right
wins,
down
bro.
in a
It's
second.
never
Yeah, let me
happened.
just
It had yet to happen.
let me drop in a second. So I'm right where I want to be.
I'll go with
But I'm with you, LeBron.
LeBron.
If you want to move one of them, I could see why, man. But I'm writing it out. Those two could literally just win you the.
I'd move
your
on
league,
one
man.
of them, man. Because what if he re-injures or doesn't come
I just
back
can't.
well?
I would if something were to happen to one of them, and I didn't have the other to back him up, or I traded the wrong one away. I just wouldn't be able to live with myself. So I'd rather just go down with the shit. I like seriously, like that's like my only reason. There's no analysts behind it. There's no anything. Like that's my exact reason. Is if I move on one of them, I know whichever one I pick is going to be the wrong one. So I'll have both of them.
And I'm right there
and
with Anthony. I'll go down with the shit, man. I don't
I'm
care.
going down with the shit,
my
man.
guys.
Yeah, so I'm going down with it, man.
You just go down.
For
Sometimes you
sure.
go up with it too, though, man. Sometimes you just you stick through and it works out, and you're all right. Sometimes you got to weather the storms. It's there's ebbs and flows in fantasy. Every year, every season.
Absolutely.
All these injuries and everything else that happens, right?
Absolutely. We'll move it on here. We got I like how it says question for you both. There we go. It helped us identify it right away. That works too. Yeah, even just question. You don't have to add any of us. Just question or put some stars or something. Yeah, make it stand out in the chat. But Cal Vista says question for you both. First, the reaction for the Chase trade might be on the news segments. Just curious. First reaction. You might have to restate that. What did he say?
He wants to get us our reaction.
I would have done a bat flip if it was him. Oh, okay. Was he the one that said?
He's the one that's trying to get the Chase trade done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. That kind of confused me. Sorry, Cal Vista. Maybe rewrite it all the way out.
I'm like going backwards. I'm like, where is that trade at?
Yeah,
Did they
that's all right.
did they mention Chase?
We'll move on.
Okay.
We got Dylan in the house here. He says, made a big move. Let's go. He says he traded Jerome Ford, Dallas Goddard, Stephon Diggs, for
yeah.
ETN. Okay. Hawkinson,
Oh,
Devonta Smith. Was it a good move? Said Ford was his RB2, and now he has ETN with CMC. Ooh. His
nice.
wide receivers were Diggs, and he has Ayuk, Waddle, Flowers, Shaheed, and now Devonta Smith. And then I like the upgrade from from Goddard to Hawkinson, even though we kind of, got Dobbs over there, but Dobbs just gave 14 targets, 10 catches to Trey McBride. So I would assume he would do more of the same with Hawkinson. I think I
Well,
like
you
this
got a good
trade.
point there. You got a good point there. But Goddard's been on fire over there.
Yeah.
He's been getting
I
more
don't know about
catches
on
than
fire,
yeah.
but
Go look at the numbers. He's been getting more points than Smith.
Frank told me to go look at the numbers.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I guess I gotta go look at the.
I
I
know
guess I
because I
gotta
have
go
those
look at
guys.
the.
I know because I have those guys. So I know that Goddard's been doing better than Smith up until last week, when Smith had a actually pretty decent game finally. Because Smith has been struggling for like 4 or 5 weeks now. It's been rough. So, but either way, good trade. I like it. I like the ATN come up. Hawkinson's a very decent tight end. You don't have to be playing around with that guy. And Devontae Smith should finish off strong. I think you're buying low on him. Um, you did give away Diggs. Obviously, that's a big piece. And Ford is an RB2 there. So you end up with the ATN and CMC. I think you're doing really good having Ayuk and Waddle and Flower still in your, back your depth and bench or whatnot. He's looking them up right now. So
Yeah, the
uh,
come up on Hawkinson is way better than Goddard. It's not even close. And granted, it was with Kirk Cousins, so we'll have to see with Dobbs. So it is a little bit
yeah,
of a risk there. I love the increase with ETN over Ford. That's a huge, huge increase. And yeah, Diggs kind of sucks, but he still has a week 13 bye. And there's those snow games, and then sometimes teams just try to completely take him out. So, and you just hope Devonta just comes back and is just a little bit. He doesn't have to do anything crazy, just be regular. And I think you win the trade. But at worst, it's pretty even. So there we go. All right. So go ahead, Frank. What's the next one?
I don't know. I don't know if this is such a come up, but I still stand by Goddard. But that's just yeah, no, he
You
just also add
look
he's
up. All right.
also
You told me to
added
look up Goddard stats. You look
I
up
did. I have 'em. I do
Hawkinson
have 'em. I got
stats,
them
and
both.
then let
I
me
got
know.
them both already.
Half PPR Goddard just had 20, or Hawkinson had 20,
Change it.
19, 11, 10,
I'll change it to half PPR real quick for you.
and then 7, 18, 9, 25. So I'll take Hawkinson.
All right.
I think it's like the same
With
exact
the
points:
with the
10,
new
20,
rookie
30,
quarterback and
40,
whatnot.
50, 60,
Yeah, 21, 6, 16, 5, 6 in the
20,
last 4 games. This guy
30.
had 7, 6, 14, 17. And I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna continue, but who knows? I mean, it's just the whole quarterback situation over there. Maybe it will, because that's what made McBride really good, right? Over there in
Yeah,
Arizona,
and
that's what you're
Ertz.
saying.
Remember, Ertz was
Yeah,
balling out with
Ertz
him
was
before
balling
he
out
got
with
hurt.
Dobbs too.
So I think he'll be fine. I think it was a good come up.
So
I'm
he's
with you,
asking
Dylan.
Dylan's still asking, which one are you taking rest of the season? Hurts, Olave, or Burrow and Puka? It's fairly even. Oh, Hurts and Olave or Burrow and Puka.
I think I take Burrow and Puka.
Yeah, that's
But
what I would.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty even. It's like, yeah, it's 6 to one side, half dozen the other.
I think Puka's catching the ball better, but then with the Matthew Stafford injury,
Yeah, Stephen
it's
injury kind of makes it a
kind
little
of
even.
little even, and then Olave has just been. I mean, he had
Dropping
some he
touchdowns.
had some
Yeah,
wide
like
open
he's
touchdown
literally
that he
just
just had to catch
dropping
the ball.
balls. Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
if
if
you
he
could
could
just catch
catch
the
it,
ball
it'd be
and
all
you had
right.
30 yards and 6 points on that, you wouldn't be even asking that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so, but yeah, it's pretty even, dude. It's pretty close. It's
Yeah, it's
hard to
pretty even. I just yeah, that hurts upside though with that rushing upside if he gets back to being, who he was. But yeah, I mean, you've seen Burrow just balling out, and I mean, Hurts just coming off a 35-point game. Besides week 1, he hasn't had like a game under 23 points. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's yeah, you're pretty even there. All right, so what else we got here?
Al Vista was asking, should we keep an eye on Zeke? Is he worth the pickup? It depends on your situation. I've seen a guy just drop Zeke just this week. And other people, he's just kind of like, couple points. He may score you a touchdown, maybe not. But I also heard trade talks, but that's already over now, so it doesn't matter.
I'm starting DeMarc Otto over Zeke. Like I'm not feeling any Patriots offensive guys. Like, and I'm so pissed at myself for even drafting Stevenson in like the 3 leagues
You
that
fell
I
for
did.
you fell for this. Didn't I tell you
No,
that?
I
I
just
said it.
I
I
know.
never will go with any running backs for the Patriots.
It was
Never.
terrible, man. It
Not,
was
not
like
till
I thought it
Belichick's
was,
gone.
and then they go sign Zeke, and it ruined everything. So yeah,
He just can't help himself. The dude can't
I
help
couldn't.
himself at all.
And I got great value. I thought he would at least I thought they'd at least I was like, okay, he's not going to get a full workload, but like him and Pollard and Stevenson are like the 2 guys that I felt were like the most like disappointing guys based on like what we thought their output could be.
Yeah.
Even when they signed Zeke, I was like, all right, even if he doesn't get the goal line, the dude gets so many catches in PPR, like he'll be worth it. Like it'll still be worth it. The drop that you were buying in the buy the drop, right? Like, and just I wish I was better off taking like Devon Achane. I should have just drafted him in like the 5th round. Like he went undrafted in so many leagues. Like I wish I would have just grabbed somebody like that. Like next year, I swear to God, I'm just gonna grab some random like running back, like in the 5th round, just because it's like like you never like someone's gonna pop off. Yeah,
spin the ball. Let's see.
I'm gonna try to find the Puka or the HN, like just right out of the gate. The Zach Moss. Yeah, jeez Louise.
But yeah, I don't think he's worth the pickup unless you actually need him to.
He's a communal back.
Like
bye weeks or
crazy
something.
thing. There's no reason to stash him. There's no reason to keep him.
I mean, Josh McDaniels did get hurt, so maybe if he goes back to New England,
then, yeah, he might.
Then maybe, then maybe it's an opportunity
I don't have to
there.
pay you. You're still owed $4 million from Las Vegas or like whatever it is.
Yeah, you come over here. He's going to be consulting with them for sure. That dude's just a Patriot through and through, man. I can't believe he keeps getting jobs, man. I think he's the only head coach that's been fired before his in the middle of his second season. And then also remember he did the Colts all dirty like the one time when they like announced them, and then he's like, nah, I'm not going there, and just stayed with the Patriots or whatever it was. But like guys like Eric Bieniemy can't get a freaking job as a head coach, man. Like this league, that's a whole other conversation. So we'll keep it moving here. All right, what do we got next?
Go look at Eric Bieniemy.
Seriously, right? Yeah, no, don't. Bieniemy, don't go take that job. Yeah. Then they'll say it's all true. Yeah, stay in Washington. He's doing okay.
I've got DJ Moore as my wide receiver 3, Myers, Michael Thomas, and Rice, but thinking of targeting Thielen because he's had his bye. What do you think? Target Thielen with some of those guys?
With who though? Because I'd want to keep DJ Moore.
DJ Moore is going to come back.
Myers, MT, Rice. I like Rice.
If anything, buy low on DJ Moore if you could get him.
If you could trade Mike Thomas for Thielen, I want to see what Myers does with O'Connell. But if you could turn Mike Thomas into Thielen, I don't think you can. I would, but I like Rice, Myers, and Moore. Like I like those guys. But getting Thielen is, even though he was the butt of all my jokes, I was like telling people like, why are you going to draft Adam Thielen? You could get like Rashee Rice and take a chance on something like that. And then Thielen just came out and just like completely balled out.
Did his thing. Yeah, he balled out.
With a rookie quarterback that hasn't been doing anything else except for throwing him the ball, apparently. So I don't know. It worked out.
I said someone in my league said I was ordering running backs. Hey, we've done that shared. I've had like 6-7 running backs. Don't even trade.
Hey, get as I used to be known as the running back whisperer, man. Like if you needed a running back, you had to come through me in a couple leagues.
Then 1 year Anthony goes wide receiver, like just 7 wide receivers.
Yeah, broke like this was before like zero RB became a thing.
Yeah.
Remember when I did that? Like our whole league was like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna try something out here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to say I invented zero RB or anything like that, but I definitely my first 2 picks, I was like picking at the end. And you guys took all the running backs. Yeah.
Trust me.
And I was like, I'm just taking these 2 wide receivers on the turn. And I'll figure out running back later.
Yeah. And you just kept
And it started working. And so it brought me some championships. I remember that was the year I got like Julio and somebody else when he was first a thing. And then I had him with Matt Ryan. That was their Super Bowl year.
Yeah, that was a good year, good run.
Yeah, I remember doing that then. So I did it before that, but yeah. So anyway.
He's asking, who did I start at tight end? Taysom Hill, Kincaid or Goddard. I think they do guys do sit starts on Friday, but I'll take a shot at it. I'm gonna go with Goddard. I'll go Goddard, Kincaid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I think he has it in the right order, depending on what you're looking for. Like maybe you swap Hill and Kincaid,
Well, they're
and
playing
maybe you go
Dallas.
Hill
Dallas is
first.
not terribly good against the tight end. And
Yeah.
I just still think that the Philly Dallas game is going to be a shootout. They got good
Yeah.
defenses, but I still think they're going to start shooting it out. It's not going to be one
What?
of these kick games that they just happened the other day. I forget how many. And we set a record of how many punts they did or whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Taysom Hill in half PPR has 12, 16, and 22 points in his last 3 games.
He's been balling out.
And they get Chicago this week. Dude could have 2 touchdowns this week. Like, I'll take that. Like, I think I'm going
Take a
Hill.
shot at Taysom.
I don't know. Like, and that's your guy. That's why I thought for sure you were gonna say go Hill.
You have to
And
move on
then
him sometimes, man, because like
yeah, stick and
he'll
move,
do
right?
that. Yeah,
Stick
you
and
gotta
move.
stick and move. You know, that's what we do. You got to go in there,
Stream those
get
tight
a good
ends.
couple weeks, and then go to the next guy because that's what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm. You got Kincaid in Cincy. You know, the DeMar Hamlin back in
That's gonna be rough.
Cincy since the DeMar Hamlin situation is gonna be emotional.
yeah, it's gonna be a big old thing. But he wasn't there for
Yeah.
that. He don't care.
Right. It's just, you know,
Yeah, both of those teams are gonna be.
I
all
still
in.
think I want Taysom Hill. But yeah, I mean, I love the
Yeah.
7 targets, 5
It's all
catches,
bad
64
that guy's
yards,
on
got
the
his
back
touchdown.
of what do you call it? An ambulance. I think it's like a number 3 on the back of the ambulance. It's like whatever.
Right. That's crazy. Great unity though. And they said like Cincinnati is going to like welcome him. Like they adopted DeMar Hamlin cuz it happened there, and you know, he's all thankful to the Cincinnati first responders and the hospital and all that stuff for keeping him alive, man. It's a crazy story. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be an interesting game. I definitely want to watch the pregame to that. So, see what they do as far as a tribute. I'm sure
So
that'll
you're
be all
going.
over.
So you're going to go with Taysom.
I'm
First?
going Hill, man, against Chicago, like for sure. Chicago, man.
All right, we'll double down on it.
There we
He's
go.
my guy. He can't go wrong
But
with him.
Brom said Chase Young. Let's
Yeah.
go, baby. Let's
I don't
go.
know why you guys didn't go get a quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah. We just need a Debo back. We just need a Debo
Yeah,
back.
you guys don't need to bolster your defense anymore. You're fine at defense. Like you guys got to stop thinking defense and like start thinking offense.
Defense wins championships, man.
Yeah,
Defense
yeah,
wins championships.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, unless you
We
can't
just
throw the
we
ball.
only need to score. We only need to score one more point than
Hey,
the other team. So
EK Price is here. Time for the weekly question: do I start Nico or Rice at my flex this week?
who you got?
Let me look at who's Rice playing this week.
Dolphins.
Ooh.
And Houston's playing Tampa Bay. I had to look up who Houston was playing, but I remembered
Yeah,
Rice was playing the Dolphins.
then I go with Nico.
Ooh. I think I
Casey
want to go
hasn't-
Nico too.
Casey just had a serious like letdown.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they're gonna have a bounce back game.
against
Like
Miami.
even yeah, because they're gonna be in a shootout. Like they're gonna have to put up
They
points.
have to be in the shootout for
Yeah,
sure.
you're gonna have to be in a shootout. So
I
like
don't know if they're going to be able to.
Rice
shoot
is
it
coming
out,
off 5 targets, 4 catches, 56 yards, like 7.6 half PPR points. Pretty decent. Nico's only scored, he scored 10 half PPR points the week before, but 2 weeks ago and last week he only scored 5. So I'll take Rashee Rice in this one. In
I
that
think it's just
Miami
'cause you like
shootout.
him.
I do. There is maybe a little bit of bias there, but
Yeah.
yeah. But I like both of them. You just heard me say I got Nico too. So like
Yeah.
Nico's been my guy. Like he's been a get right guy. We all like him over here.
Yeah,
But I do have an affinity, whatever it is
Yeah.
with Rice. That's for sure. So, what can I say? Like in my head, I just for some reason think, oh, Jerry Rice, Rashee Rice. Like it's just gonna.
yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is, right there. Now we know.
And he's attached.
Now we know.
And he's attached to Holmes. I'm like,
We
you got
dwelled
Rice on
in
the back
there
of the
just
jersey.
now.
He's gonna be the goat. Like, come on now, come on. He's the
I just
baby
think
goat.
Tampa Bay's not as good as either of those teams, so that's why I would go with a weaker defense.
Yeah, I'll look it up right here. See what they're doing against the pass. Fantasy points allowed, 2 wide receivers. You have the Dolphins. sitting at 12th most points, giving up the 12th most points to the wide receivers. And then you have the Bucks giving up the 7th most points to wide receivers. So, I mean, yeah, the Tampa Bay is definitely the better matchup.
That's what I'm saying.
But
You're thinking it's more of a shootout on the other side. So you're
yeah,
thinking the same thing I'm thinking with the Dallas and Eagles game, right?
but
It's
those
going to
are
be
two
more
good
of a shootout,
defenses.
and then you're going to
The
have,
Dolphins don't have that great of a defense.
you know,
Chiefs have an okay defense, but they got Tyreek. Like they got so much speed. They're going to get whatever good they are
going to
is going
get
to get
burnt.
negated by that speed. Yeah.
It's going to get burnt. It
So
don't matter
yeah,
who you are. It don't matter what defense you are. You're going to get burnt by that
exactly.
dude.
You're
That
getting
dude's too
yeah. You
fast.
don't have somebody that's running 4.2 basically.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly. You
these
don't
guys
have
are
that guy.
like running 25 miles an hour, man.
Yeah.
It's insane. So there we are. So we finally got caught up in the
Alright.
chat, man.
We're in the
So
chat.
there we are. Q&A session is done. Well, not done. We're finally
Come
caught
back
up.
to it. We'll
You
get back
guys
to
have anything else that you have? Always leave your questions in there.
That only
We'll
took
get
an
to our
hour.
regularly scheduled program here. But yeah, we like to make sure we get to all the chat when we first start here. So kick back, relax. We'll get into our Thursday night preview. So let me
Regularly
bring up that
scheduled
banner
program.
here. So we got Thursday night football. Tomorrow night, we have Titans at Steelers. We have the Steelers favored by 2.5 points with is it 35.5? I thought it was 36.5. Let me double check it. Either way, not considered a high scoring game, according to Vegas here. But we have Tannehill obviously ruled out, dealing with that ankle injury, that high ankle sprain. Will Levis will make his second NFL start. So that's going to be pretty exciting, coming off a 4-touchdown game. 3 of those going to D-Hop, who was also listed as questionable, dealing with the toe injury himself. But we know if he was practicing on that ankle, he's playing on the toe. So I'm sure he'll be out there. On the other side of the ball, we have the Steelers quarterback, Kenny Pickett, dealing with that rib cartilage injury, which forced him out of last week's game. He was limited and then upgraded to a full participation today. And they're saying he has no game status. So basically, he will be playing just like he said yesterday. And it was confirmed today that he will be starting tomorrow night. So let's start there. Levis, Pickett, are we starting the guys in 1 QB leagues?
I think Levis earned a starting spot in some people's leagues. I think depending on how deep you are or where you're at, right? If you got some people that went down, maybe you had the Tannehill in or whatever. He's with a shot. It's going to be really hard to say, yeah, he's going to do well against the Steelers, especially in the second start. But if he does, then he's going to be the quarterback of the future for the team, and Tannehill's out. So it's
All right.
kind of like a litmus test, I think, for him right now.
Right. So if you had to choose between the two, Pickett or Levis, who would you go with?
Levis.
All right. And let's
Pickett. I don't think anybody starts him, does it?
even try it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have Deontay back,
Yeah.
so that's good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just throw some other names out to you in regards to Levis, see if we can kind of hone in where we're at. Other guys you might find on the wire. Sam Howell, are you starting him over Levis this week?
I would
or would
start
you roll
Sam
with Levis?
Sam Howell's been.
I think I go Sam
steady
Howell
Eddie.
as well. What about Josh Dobbs? If he ends up, or no, I don't think they said he's going to start this week.
That's
He's
the
not
same
starting
thing
this
as
week.
Will Levis, though. It's the same
I think
thing. He just showed up. I don't think he could pull off a Baker Mayfield and learn the play.
He is a rocket scientist. So
Is
if
he
anybody
really?
could, yeah, he's literally a rocket scientist. Like this
In that
dude
case,
is
throw him in there.
smart.
Fire him up.
Okay.
That dude to
But no,
memorize the
I think
plays
they've
in.
already
It can't be
said he's
that
not
hard.
starting. Yeah, he already said he's not starting this week. Dobbs will not start. I mean, I guess never say never.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's scratch Dobbs. Let's go to Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew or Will Levis?
Minshew or Levis? See, I like Minshew. Minshew's been slinging it around, man. That dude's willing to throw it out there.
Boomer bust kind of guy.
Yeah.
What about Taylor Heineke or Will Levis? Starting for Desmond Ritter this week.
Let's start Will Levis over that. Yeah.
Sorry, Will Levis. What about Mac and Cheese? Mac Jones. Mac Jones or Will Levis?
Levis.
All right. And
that's where the line.
I think that's about it. Yeah, so there we go.
That's about where the line's at.
Those are kind of the guys. PJ Walker if Deshaun doesn't start or Will Levis on Thursday.
Then I'll go with Will Levis still.
Okay.
PJ Walker had that one good game against
Aiden O'Connell or Will Levis?
No, we'll let us. We see what they're.
I was like, I had to hit him there. All
But
right,
you
good
never
stuff.
know because he could be like you get that talking to be like, look, you got to throw it to Devontae. Your job's to throw it to Devontae.
Oh
Nope.
yeah,
If
you
you know
should
what's
see
good for you,
15
throw to
targets. Yeah,
Devontae. You know what I mean? And that's probably what'll
yeah,
happen
absolutely.
because they're
All
not
right,
trying to
good
get rid
stuff.
of Devontae. They were like, people were talking, trade him away, poor guy, and this and that. They're like, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. All right, so let's go to the running backs here. Derrick Henry, we starting him against the Steelers defense.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're starting him. On the other side, Jalen Warren, or let me start with Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. Najee, interestingly, has had some decent games lately. I kind of even found myself maybe wanting to trade for him in some of my running back stricken leagues. I mean, last game wasn't great against Jacksonville, 7 carries for only 13 yards, but had 5 catches on 5 targets for 42 yards to kind of make up for the day. A little more, of course, in full PPR than half PPR. But the week before, he did get 14 carries for 53 yards and scored a touchdown, had 3 catches on 3 targets for 15 yards, fumbled but didn't lose it. What do you think? You starting Najee against this Tennessee defense has been pretty stout.
Um, I think it depends on your team makeup, but you kind of got to fire him up, right? Sometimes you don't have an option of like, oh, let me get this other guy because he has a better matchup. Sometimes it's
You
just like,
starting Amari
yeah,
DiMarcado or Najee Harris?
I started Najee over Amari.
Okay, and
That
who
dude's
else? Just
so
some of
boom
these
and
other.
bust right there. Ricardo, come on, he had like one
I mean,
good
he's
game.
been getting like 20 touches though, like versus a guy who only got 7
And
touches.
what did he do with
So
those touches? What did he score
I'm
last
just
week?
saying. Who DiMarcado?
Yeah,
Do I have him on here still? I was looking up Jalen Warren.
I'll look it up right now for you. And it wasn't that much. I just remember that. We go half
20
PPR,
carries for 78 yards, 1 catch for 1 yard,
8.4 points.
8.4 half PPR points.
Yeah, so
It was
that's not even 10
more
points.
than what
No double
Najee scored.
digits. That's true. I guess. I don't know. What
But
did he
he is
score?
going up. He is going up against Cleveland though, in Cleveland
Yeah. See,
against
look.
that
Yeah,
defense.
that's
So
not
yeah,
even. Yeah, it's not even a
I
question at
think I
that
take.
point. If you're going
I think I'll
against
take my chances with
Cleveland
Najee.
defense,
I mean, they both have bad matchups. I mean,
he had 8 points
Najee's
last
going up
week.
against
It's
Tennessee,
almost the
so
same. He had almost the same
yeah,
points.
I'd like to sit him if I could. I do like Warren a little better. And they are he's pretty much splitting with Warren at this point, which has been unprecedented for a Steelers backfield.
Steelers guy, right? Yeah.
Najee's getting like 52% of the snaps, and Warren's seeing about 46 to 48% of the snaps the last 2 weeks, basically all year. I mean, it started at 40, and then basically started increasing from there, and he's getting closer to 50 as the year goes on. So yeah, so
News and notes. Let's move it on.
there we go. We got the wide receivers though.
Oh, okay.
Wide receivers, Titans. DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously, we're starting him.
We're firing him
I'm
up.
sitting
No,
all the
she's
other.
not. Yeah, everybody else gets set
Yeah,
on that whole team.
Nick Westbrook-Akine, Robert Woods is out. So yeah, you're sitting all those guys. I'm starting Deontay Johnson. I liked him coming back with his target share. Pickens, I think you kind of have to throw out there now as a wide receiver 3 flex option if you really need to. And no other, wide receivers there. Pickens, yeah, he only had 1 catch
How
on
about the
5
tight
targets
end?
for
Since
22
you went
yards,
ahead
but he
and
did
went
score a
that far.
touchdown. So yeah, tight end Chig,
Take a
a little
Conquo.
more involved this last week.
Yeah, he was looking decent.
He's a potential stream.
And Pat Fremuth.
Yeah, Deontay had 14 targets last week, guys. 8 catches, 14 on 14 targets, 85 yards.
That's a good number right there. That's a good number. That's a good
Yeah,
share.
played 91% of the snaps. He did have the scare, but did come back. And then who we say? Chig?
Take a Conquo. But Pat Fremuth.
Fairmouth's still on the IR, I
Is he?
believe. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, Chig is up to 72% of the snaps last week against Atlanta. Saw 5 targets, 4 catches. So only 23 yards,
Yeah,
but
they got Connor Hayward.
yeah.
Whoever that is.
Yeah, so
I
I'm
would
probably
say,
sitting him.
yeah. Moving on.
All right. So that'll wrap it up. So there you go. Titans, Steelers. Hopefully it's a good game. a couple guys were starting in this game, but other than that,
We just
probably
want to see
sit
Will
back and
Levis and
relax
see
it.
what he could do.
Yeah, we're all just watching that. Yeah, see if he
Yeah.
and D Hop could go crazy there. So
That's all we're looking for. The rest of
let's
it's
keep it going.
like whatever.
All right, so let's get on
Right.
these news and notes. Ooh, look at you're on it.
Yeah.
So news topics and our injury updates here. So we have a couple topics to kind of discuss first, and then we'll just quickly go through some of the other injuries. So first things first, Raiders cleaning house. Raiders fire in the middle of the night, even like it wasn't like it was late. It was like 2:00 in the morning, like on the East Coast, like when
Somebody
this all
put
happened.
out the meme that he's
Yeah.
out triggering with his kids and gets
And then just
Pop.
gets roasted. Yeah. Al Davis was out drinking or something. Did you hear the whole thing about
Davis.
how
or
he like
Mark
dressed
Davis?
up? Yeah, how McDaniel dressed up as Mark Davis and something about a fortune cookie or something like that. I don't know. You guys go check it out.
Really?
I don't know if there's yeah, dude, go Google it and you'll see. I don't know if
Maybe
it's
he heard
true or
that and
not,
said, "Oh,
but
you
yeah,
think that's funny, huh?"
something like that.
Did he have
Yeah,
the bowl
and then
haircut cut? Or what?
like something he had like a fortune cookie and opened it up and it was like you're fired or something like that in there. And
Shut
it's
the
like
fuck
I
up.
don't know.
Nah,
Yeah, it
people
was
be
weird.
making meme stuff.
Yeah, because he like ordered the same thing he gets like at PF Chang's or something like that. I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, so go check that out. You can Google it while I'm reading this off. But yeah, so he not only Josh McDaniels but general manager Dave Ziegler, both out. In addition to that, they're also sitting Jimmy G. Which, as much as I was talking shit about Jimmy G, I think he kind of got the backlash on that. Like he was just kind of caught up. Like he's like, hey, I'm not with them. Like I don't know why he lost his job. Like, yeah, he's terrible, and that's why we try to move on from him, obviously, and traded 3 first-round picks
He
to
said that
try to get out of him.
fortune
But
cookie
like,
thing is not true, by the way. Just FYI.
oh, okay, all right, that's
We're moving on
cool.
from that.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, I heard it.
But
I was
was
like,
a thing,
I haven't
right?
had a chance to look into it, but yeah,
The interwebs just
um,
throw that out there.
yeah, allegedly, right? Allegedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jimmy G loses his job. They end up benching him. They're going to go with the rookie Aiden O'Connell, see what they got there. I think Jimmy G got the short end of the stick there. Like I said, as much as I'm not really for him being the guy and was saying like now Raiders fans, now you know how we felt. Just completely missing Devontae Adams on several throws, which could have just been easy walk-in touchdowns. There's no issues with Adams. He's getting open. Just he can't get the ball in the right spot. And that's Jimmy G for you. But Jimmy G he just missed games, coming off that back injury, stuff like that. Like, he just
I
needed to
don't
kind
think he
of
was
knock some of the
100%.
rust off.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't
and
think
he was
was
getting
100%.
drilled. Yeah, he
That's
got
the other
drilled
thing. I
like a
think he
couple
was hearing
times.
footsteps that night. You know what I mean? Like, ooh,
Yeah, he was dancing
his
around in the
clock was moving a
pocket.
little faster in his head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Like,
think he
they're
needed a
not
good
doing
week
him
of
any help.
practice.
The Raiders are not helping him whatsoever to get him the ball out. They need to get a better O line before
Yeah.
they start moving on this guy and be like, oh yeah, he's not worth nothing. They're like, come on, you got to take some onus in what you have as a team
Yeah.
to protect your quarterback at some point.
So now they're paying him $11.5 million to sit the bench for the rest of the year. So
what does he care?
well done, Raiders.
He's in
Well done.
Vegas.
Yeah, I don't think Jimmy cares. Yeah,
He's
he's
about to go to
probably
the
like, "Get me
strip
outta
club
here."
again. Be like,
Hey, Jimmy.
What's up?
So there we go. So yeah, man. So there we go. Aiden O'Connell's in at quarterback, man. Moving forward, they said I think it's Antonio Pierce or something like that, interim head coach. He said the belief is O'Connell gives them the best chance to win. So it's tough when
even
that
Tycoon's
happens.
saying, "What's up, Tycoon?" By the way, Jimmy's good. He's got his money, right? Yeah,
He got it all from us,
Yeah.
man. And
Yeah.
all he brought us was the worst Super Bowl memory I have ever had. I still can't talk about it.
Can't even talk about it.
Yeah. Can't even talk about it still not ready. But yeah, he got us there. It was nice to be there. I mean, it could be worse, right, Frank? Like you could just not go.
Yeah.
Right. Like, would you rather be in our shoes, like having been twice and lost both of them, to a comeback win and like literally an overthrow by Jimmy, and then go into like two East Con. I mean, yeah. So it's tough. So anyway, so we'll move on here. Our next news item there, Josh Dobbs, which I just quickly added on there, traded to the Minnesota Vikings. Like I said, I don't think he's going to be starting. I think it's going to be that other kid. What's his name?
1 week.
Yeah, something Hunt or something like that. Jalen. I don't know who it is. But somebody's gonna be there, and then we'll see what Josh Dobbs does thereafter.
It's a Jaron Hall.
Jaron Hall, that's what it was. I knew it was like something J and an H in there. Appreciate you, Tycoon. See, that's why we got Tycoon here. Make sure you guys go check out the Fantasy Boardroom, man.
But
check out
he's
Tycoon.
saying,
He was on earlier. So yeah,
he's saying that I'm not sure Aiden is going to be the guy, even an improvement for the season overall, though. We'll see. After the Detroit game, though, I get it.
yeah, it was pretty brutal. That Monday night game was brutal.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Josh Dobbs there. Obviously, Kirk Cousins out with that torn ACL. Some good news though, as far as Justin Jefferson goes. They said he might be ready to go after the 4-week IR stint, which is only like 8 more days from now. You might get JJ back
more week.
with Dobbs. So they said he's been progressing pretty well, and maybe we'll see him here pretty soon. So just keep your eyes on that, and maybe if you can go get your hands on Jefferson. We had a question earlier.
And that explains the benching of Dobbs, and they were going to start Tune. Remember, we were like, "What the?
Yeah, like what was going on there? Yeah,
and now we know because that dude was like,
he was
he's
in a
already
trade.
getting packaged out.
I don't know why. And this is and going back to the Raiders thing, the Raiders are always Raiders. Like they did the right thing by finally firing Josh McDaniels, fire their GM, sit Jimmy G. But why didn't they do this on Tuesday? Like, why did they wait till Tuesday night? Like they passed the trade deadline. Like they could have traded freaking Jimmy G to Minnesota.
Right.
I mean, not saying Minnesota wanted him, but I mean, you would think Jimmy G is an upgrade over Dobbs, right? Like, I mean, come on,
he's a
right?
veteran.
So
he's definitely been around. So
that's what I mean. So, like, you would think, right? Especially you want JJ.
He's got that Super Bowl experience and all that.
Yeah, maybe they asked JJ, and JJ was like, "No, I want Dobbs, not Jimmy, not Jimmy. Like anybody but Jimmy. Like I'm sitting guy. Yeah, exactly.
Good guy.
Take my chances.
After all.
Exactly. Jeez Louise. All right, so there you go. That's your Minnesota update there. Moving on to the next topic we have here. Kyler Murray coming off that ACL. He's in his 21-day practice window. He has 1 more week left, basically, where they can activate him. Week 10 would be the latest. He was listed as a full participant today. They've already said he's not coming back this week. It will be Clayton Tune, who is set to start. And like I said a couple weeks ago, when I went on my Kyler Murray rant, I said the soonest you're probably going to get him is week 10, and then he has the week 13 bye, and then get San Francisco, then Chicago, and like Philly is in the playoffs, and so like maybe you can start him for 2 or 3 games. Just wasn't worth the headache for me. Has some rest obviously to knock off, and again, who knows how good he's going to be with no D-Hop and just Hollywood Brown basically.
There's
there.
A lot of questions.
McBride. So
but Hollywood Brown.
I don't think Kyler Murray is going to be the savior. Like. No. I don't think he's the savior. Like I'd rather have Gardner Minshew. Maybe not. That was maybe a hot take, but I'm just for theatrics.
He's feeling it right now.
Yeah.
He's in the flow.
Yeah, I was like, maybe not. let me. I forget people are watching the show. We don't have like just 2 subscribers anymore. Right. It's not just us talking. So I got to make sure I put some good stuff out there so people aren't doing anything silly. But yeah. So I mean, yeah, is he worth the stash while you have him in the IR? If you have a roster spot, but I don't think he's going to be the savior.
Up in all the leagues
you never know.
People have already benched him up. I was thinking about doing it myself because I've been in some quarterback trouble in a couple leagues. But I just kind of passed on it. Also, I was like, there's probably better days ahead with some of the other guys I already got anyway. So
for sure,
wait it out. Wait for the guys to get healthy, and you should be all right.
Absolutely. So there you go. And again, you've made it this far. Hopefully, if you're in the playoffs, like why put your playoffs at risk? I mean, unless you have a QB go down later, with all these QBs going down for tests and stuff like that, then then maybe you do have to take a chance on Kyler. So, in that case, there are certain circumstances, but you never know. All right. So that wraps up that. So we'll move on here to some Rams news. You have Sean McVay coming out saying that the Rams will not put Matt Stafford dealing with that thumb issue on injured reserve. He did not practice today. The Rams said they're taking a day at a time with Stafford. He has not ruled Stafford out for Sunday against the Packers and said he will give Stafford until right up to game time to be ready to play. So we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier when we were talking all about Puka and Kupp. But yeah, so that's your Rams update. Like, what do you think
really here? That's really good because I mean now we know that it's not too bad, not too serious. Obviously, if McVay's basically trying to say, hey, can you grip that ball? Can you throw the ball? And obviously resting him. He doesn't. Stafford doesn't need the practice time. He knows what he's doing and where the throws are going and all that.
Dude throws no look passes. Like he's good.
Yeah. So he's fine. Yeah. So it's just a matter of can he get healthy and get that grip going. If he can, he's going to fire him up, and we're all going to be happy that he is, because he's definitely slinging it out to Puka and Cut. But if he
Absolutely.
doesn't do that, I definitely have to bench Puka or Cut. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they're gonna go what, Ripien? And they didn't even get
yeah,
John Wolford, which we reported on Monday. Like the
they didn't
Buccaneers were
even
like,
get him.
nah, we signed
Nah,
him. Nah. So the
nah.
Bucks were like, nah, we're
None of
gonna
that.
make him active. They activated him just so they had, and they went out and got like somebody else. I forgot off the top of my head right now, but they ended up signing somebody else. I think
So
today.
Ripken is the guy that's going to
I
start.
think
So
Ripien
definitely,
would be the guy.
if Stafford doesn't go, sit Cup and Cooper, Puka.
If you have good options, if not, you might have to roll him out there. So
Roll
you
it
never
out.
know.
See what happens.
You
They're gonna
never
get
know, man.
targets
It's rough
anyways,
out
right?
there. Yeah, they're gonna get some targets, so
Some garbage
they
time
won't
will
be too
happen.
far down the line. Yeah, they get run cup and those like screens and stuff like that. So we'll get it. All right, so we'll move on here, and we see you guys dropping your stuff in the chat. We are going to get to it.
We'll
We're
get
just going to
back
get
to
through
you
our
guys.
news notes here, yeah, and then we'll do our next Q&A session. So keep them coming. We'll get to them here soon. Falcons head coach Arthur Smith said their Heineke will be the team starting quarterback versus Minnesota. So you're going to have a new quarterback versus new quarterback here in Week 9. He says Desmond Ritter will be as the number 2 quarterback this week. Smith said they're not focused on the long term, just against Minnesota. So this is like kind of the same thing that happened with Mariota last year, except for Mariota was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go have surgery then and I'm gone. Like we're not playing this
Right.
back and forth game. We've all kind of been waiting for Heineke to take over. In our Dynasty League, I ended up picking up Heineke and holding out, for him, thinking Ritter might take over. So here we are. And I think, we've seen what Heineke was able to do last year. I kind of like Heineke. So, I think he's a tough dude. He gets hype. Like, maybe we'll see what happens if he can hit Drake London, and who's dealing with a groin issue, which we'll get to here in a second, and Pitts, and maybe make some of these pass catchers a little relevant. So keep your eye out on Kadero Hodge. Keep your eye out on Matt Collins. So those might be guys we might be talking about next week on the waiver wire ads. So if you have an open spot, maybe grab one of them. Because if Heineke shows out,
beat the waiver wire.
yeah, exactly. So I think if Heineke shows out, or at least just doesn't cost them the game, 3 fumbles in the red zone and 2-3 picks, then should be his job to keep, for the rest of the year. So that's just my opinion. Like Classic Mike said, because he's trying to like get him from me for like a 4th or a 3rd round pick. I'm like, bro, I'm a contender. Plus, you're under me, so why would I try to like help you? You're gonna have to like help me. Like I either need a player or like a higher pick at least. So anyway, we'll talk about he and I have been going back and forth. We're gonna see which one caves first. He's offering me a 3rd for either Heineke or Minshew or Dobbs. I have all 3 in the Dynasty League, sitting behind Burrow and Mahomes, of course. But yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Anyway, Darren Waller may be out weeks. I put this one on here just for you, Frank. He said last year, or last game last year, the main problem was he kept coming. Or yeah, last year the main problem was he kept coming back too soon. So he said the amount of weeks, I'm not sure, but it may take a little bit. So that's not someone who sounds like they're coming back anytime soon. Y'all should have just took Frank's advice weeks ago and just traded or dropped all Giants except for Saquon, and you wouldn't be in the situation you are right now with Waller and dealing with that. So
I do have to admit, he did have some decent games in there and whatnot, but
it wasn't worth the headache.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't worth
In
that.
Tycoon, problem. You may have got me on Jacoby Myers, but I told you about Waller, so we're even.
There you go.
so there we go. Since I know he's here, so there we go. All right, so those are like kind of the main topics to talk about. These next ones here, I'm just going to kind of riffle through them. If there's anything you want to add or bring up in a topic, then we can definitely stop. Otherwise, I'm just going to read them off. So we have perfect. Bills quarterback Josh Allen dealing with that right shoulder was officially listed as a DNP today on the injury report. Josh Allen did say, though, if I had to practice today, I would have. If the game was today, I absolutely would be out there. Kevin Stefanski said Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson dealing with that shoulder will practice on a limited basis this week, and then he'll give us an update later in the week. PJ Walker remains the backup, so there's no quarterback controversy there. Stefanski said Walker will again start if Wilson cannot. Brian Daboll said Giants quarterback Daniel Jones dealing with that neck issue has no restrictions returning to practice today. He wasn't even listed as a DNP or limited, so looks like he practiced in full. Packers running back Aaron Jones. They say no concerns. He was wearing a red non-contact jersey today and listed as a limited participant as he continues to work his way back to 100%. I think he split 50-50 with Dylan last week, so he's not quite there yet, but maybe somebody you can go trade for if you're not giving up too much. Bengals running back Joe Mixon dealing with the chest issue. He was limited in practice today. Texans running back Dameon Pierce popped up with an ankle issue, got a DNP. His status is in the air for Sunday. Could go either way, so definitely something to keep an eye on. If Devin Singletary's out there, you might want to go swoop him up if you're dealing with running back issues. Cardinals running back Amari DeMarcado, he popped up on the injury report, DNP today, dealing with the toe injury. You have Dolphins running back Raheem Mostert, dealing with an ankle injury. He got a DNP, probably more like a vet rest day, but something to kind of keep your eye on. Of course, you have Ravens running back Gus Edwards also dealing with the toe. Like, this is the week of the toes. Apparently, we went through hamstrings, groins, and now toes.
There was somebody else with the toe too. Who was the other guy?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't want to stop you, but go ahead.
No, you're good. So it's the week of the toes. So he got a DNP. You have Falcons wide receiver Drake London dealing with the groin issue. He got a DNP. Again, this is just Wednesday though, so take all this with a grain of salt. You got Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua dealing with knee, some swelling in there. He was limited, so at least he was limited. So that's pretty good. Frank Reich says he's optimistic about Panthers wide receiver DJ Chark's elbow, but he's considered day to day. And then you had Browns tight end David Njoku dealing with an ankle. He got a DNP, but I'm sure he'll be fine.
D-Hop was the other toe.
Oh yeah, that's who it was. D-Hop with the toe. So yeah, week of the toe. That's the new one. So that wraps up our news and notes as far as guys we thought were at least that I thought were fantasy worthy. So or topic worthy there. So let's get back into the chat here. We'll do some Q&A, and then we'll go to our buy sell trade targets, and we'll try to get out of here at a decent hour. So we're going back up here. Yeah, there we go. He says, "How we doing, boys?" Go ahead.
Okay.
Says, "How we doing, boys?" So what's up, man? How's it going? He says he traded JT, Godwin, and Downs for Mahomes. Damn. So JT, Godwin, and Downs for Mahomes, Rashad White, and Amari Cooper. His current team stands as Mahomes, Rashad White, Mostert, AJ Brown, Puka Nacua, Amari Cooper, and Pitts. He has McCaffrey on the bye, and he has Khalil Herbert waiting to be taken off IR. So fantastic trade. You got one of the trio. We always say if you can trade up and get one of these trios, you want to do it. I personally like the trade. And what about you, Frank?
I would go for it for sure. That's solid trade. JT's basically the guy you're going taking a hit on. Josh Downs just started becoming the thing. Godwin's kind of been in the middle this year, just kind of
he's decent.
You are too. Yeah, I didn't say bad. Just I said in the middle. Kind of, he hasn't been what he used to be, at least basically, because Godwin last year was tearing it up. So did Mike Evans, but that's not what's happening this year. So Mahomes, to come up on Mahomes, Rashad White's finally coming into zone, and Cooper's been doing his thing. Solid. He's been solid.
You bought low on Mahomes there after a bad game. So well done. Way to take advantage. And you got White and Amari to go with it. Like, White's coming off his best game of the year.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I guess that guy feeling like he's selling low on Mahomes, selling high on White. Cooper's kind of been, in the middle. He'll be better if Deshaun Watson can get back and be
but he hasn't been bad,
a little better. But yeah, I mean, he's still decent. So so I like it. I think it's a great trade.
Yeah.
And again, it's not like he has to rely on them. He has CMC, AJ Brown, now Mahomes as his core. I would just try to figure out Pitts, but who knows? Heineke, like I was just saying, with Pitts might be a thing. So yeah, well done. I like it. And he has Herbert coming back.
So JAC.
Go ahead.
Coming in here, should I trade Hollywood Brown and Njoku for Garrett Wilson? I usually start Laporta and picked up McBride for a few weeks ago. My other receivers are St. Brown, Ridley, and Thielen. It's a 3/4 PPR.
Nice, 3/4 PPR. I love it.
Hey,
love it.
PPR? Is that not a full PPR?
You got half and full. You got half of the half. Yeah, so they're going right in the middle. This is how I'm going to get you to adjust Frank from half PPR and eventually get you to full PPR. But let's just go 0.75 PPR, and it'll just kind of ease you into full PPR. But yeah, no, I would do it. I mean, I would take that chance there. Wilson's looked pretty decent with Wilson. We thought he was going to be a dumpster fire, trying to sell him early. I don't mind, trading for him now. I mean, I like him a little better than Hollywood. You have the issue with Kyler Murray coming back, potentially, and what that connection could potentially be. Again, I think it was like 17 points per game they averaged together when he was healthy without D-Hop last year. And, like you said, you have the tight end depth. You're already starting to, or you're looks like you're rostering 3 tight ends right now, so you definitely got to move one of them.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. You
Wilson.
package them up.
Yeah, why not?
Get Wilson, and you're bolstering your wide receiver core. Yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah, I take that
Good
chance.
trade.
I think it'd be worth it for sure. There you go.
He said if you haven't reported any
Tycoon
advances,
agrees.
hell yeah, I had been more consistent than Wilson though. And Murray comes back, but I like Garrett Wilson ceiling a lot better. Yeah, so do we. He's been doing all right, man. Been doing all right.
Exactly. Tycoon's responding to me. He says, I mean, well, there still is tight end 9 for now, but you know what I'm saying, Tycoon.
And that'll keep dropping week by week.
Yeah,
by
it'll
week.
keep going. It'll keep going. He says, we'll see how
many
long he's
weeks.
actually out.
Yeah.
He said weeks, not anytime soon.
Weeks. Yeah, exactly. It's not like he said, "Oh, I'm just gonna be fine. I'll be back in a week."
Yeah, I'm trying to work it. Be back. He's like, nah. Last year I came back too soon, and blah blah blah. And yeah,
this team
he tried to play.
Continue to play.
Yeah, exactly. They just traded everybody away. Their defense is terrible. Yeah, well, I don't know about all that. Allegedly,
that's what he was doing.
Say allegedly. Oh, that's right, huh?
Remember that?
Back when he was in the Raiders. Yeah, I remember that. I totally forgot about that.
That.
Yeah, his whole addiction thing and all that. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Allegedly. All right. So Perry W's.
That was for real.
It's like he was there.
Yeah.
It was there. All right. So Perry's saying, I'll try to move on here. Perry says his recap: Amon-Ra, Gabe Davis for Jefferson. Davis is basically a throw-in. No, I'm not doing Amon-Ra. I would do Godwin or whoever else you had. Oh, that wasn't Perry asking us that question. Somebody else was asking that question earlier. I'm not trading Amon-Ra for Jefferson right now with the unknowns. I mean, if Kirk was still there, I would say, all right, you get him back in maybe a week or two.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's on a bye week. I would take that chance maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think you really need to do that. So I would just stick with Amon-Ra. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but Josh Dobbs.
We got to see it first, man. It's too.
Yeah, I want to see it.
You're very risky.
I mean, you're taking a risk, but I wouldn't risk Amon-Ra. Whoever's your next receiver in Gabe Davis, then maybe I would do that, but not Amon-Ra, man. So I can't do it. I can't trade Amon-Ra for Justin Jefferson right now. So either way. All right. So Tycoon says, I agree. JAC Wilson ceiling's much higher, even with Zach Wilson throwing the ball. I don't think Collar will be a savior for Brown. As Rasta and Frank said earlier, I agree with him. Hey, let's go. JAC says I've had Kyler Murray on Curry. That's just his squish name. Kyler Murray. We just call him Curry. Yeah, so he's had Curry on IR all season. He also drafted Fields, but when he got hurt, I went out and bought low on Dak. Very, very well done. Nice. You got paid out this last week, so that was good. 36 points. I think it was QB2, QB3 when we gave out our game balls. Only one QB league. So which of the 3 would you drop or try to trade? So I'm definitely trade Murray, but I'd keep Dak and Fields. So Fields has literally league winning upside, and Dak is just kind of set it and forget it.
How's he going to trade Murray though?
You just hit the trade button and find somebody else
who's willing to take him.
Someone who's willing to take him, or just drop him.
On that trade block, right?
Yeah, you just hit him on the trade block, or start sending offers out and see what people. People just lost a bunch of quarterbacks, so
that's
with
true.
the news with him potentially coming back in week 10, go find the guy that just lost Kirk Cousins and see if you can get I don't know, a wide receiver 3 or 4. I would take almost anything for him at this point. I mean, you got Fields and Dak. Fields should be coming back here soon, hopefully. I would rather deal with Fields' injury lingering than Murray with his ACL. Anyway, it is what it is.
And the schedule that he has and all the other stuff.
It's just too much. Yeah, too much stuff there. No weapons.
Going on about Waller.
Exactly.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. So all I know is he'll miss multiple games, but we'll see. He leads in receiving. I'll take he was still right. The take was still right. Yeah, I guess technically, but it the leading wide receiver in or leading in receiving on the Giants is just a bad thing in general.
That's not saying much, right?
Yeah.
So
And
Matt
he says
Rich
it's
is
by
in the house.
127 yards. Yeah. What's up, Matt? How's it going,
What up?
man?
What up? He's got a question.
New name to
coming
me.
up.
I don't know if I've seen Matt
Yeah, I
before.
don't think I've seen Matt
but
Rich
yeah.
either. What up,
Appreciate
man?
you for subscribing if you did, man. Oh, I think he did have to subscribe to put his question in. I think I have subscriber mode on right now.
Yeah,
So we
get a lot
appreciate
of
it.
spam bots sometimes, so it's not to weed out some people, but just it happens, and we do a lot of questions and answers, as you can see right now. So we got to do it sometimes because these bots come in here and just start throwing stupid
Crazy
stuff.
stuff. Yeah,
We don't got time for that. We got
for
time
sure. So go ahead, read it off.
He says, I have a Dynasty league and I want to hear your thoughts on a trades team. What can I potentially do now? So, yeah, throw up the question.
Yeah, drop it in there.
We're in Dynasty leagues. We like Dynasty. We're all about everything that's full on fantasy. So, we're degenerates over here. Bring it on.
For sure. And if it's too in depth, we do have our, just real quick, Frank, if it is too in depth, go into the description. You'll see it says join our private sleeper community. Has a link there to join our sleeper community. In there, you can start your own thread, put screenshots of your entire team, and we can go, in more depth with you over a greater period of time versus kind of like a, quick kind of reaction here on the show. Like we'll give you what you can here live as we interact. But if you get into that, in the sleeper channel, we can go even more in depth there and literally get screenshots and stuff like that. Too. Yeah. You'll get other takes from everybody else part of the community, in addition to us. So make sure you guys utilize that as well too. So especially those folks that are watching, later on, not live, make sure you guys utilize that. It's right there in the description at the top. So drop it in the chat and we'll go from there. We got Andrew G in the house. He's saying, would y'all start Pickens or Henderson this week? Thank y'all. And it is full PPR, he says. So who you go with, Pickens or Hendo?
I'm going with Hendo.
Who was activated to the 53-man roster.
That's why. He's no longer I'm a practice guy.
Being called up from the practice
squad. He's not. I kept putting him in my lineup, and they're like, "You got a guy who's not available in your line. Hey, fire him up, dude. He's been doing solid over there. He's definitely the goal line guy. I think that Royce Freeman got him on one last weekend, but he should be getting the majority of the work, the load of the work over there. That's who I'd roll with, Hendo.
Yeah, you like the work the week before, 18 carries, 61 yards, and that touchdown, like you said, 1 catch, 2 targets for 5 yards. Played 57% of the snaps. It did drop a little bit last week against Dallas, in Dallas, but again, they were behind. Like it was like 32 to nothing, like immediately. So they basically had to abandon the run game, and then Stafford gets hurt, and it was just all bad. And even with all that said, played 47% of the snaps, 12 carries, only 31 yards, but got 3 catches for 54 yards in the passing game. Because again, they had to start passing there. So now they get Green Bay at Green Bay. I think I would take my chances with him versus Pickens against this Tennessee defense, they're still pretty good. But if you need more of a kind of boomer bust play, you can always go Pickens because he can hit his head on a goalpost, anytime really.
Right.
And have a big game. But for somebody who, if you're just kind of looking for that solid, consistent, I assume this is in your flex spot. Depending on, the rest of your team makeup, I think I'd go Henderson here.
And
so and I'm not that big of a Pickens fan either. So yeah. Oh, Tycoon agrees with Hendo. There we go. Yeah, I like when we agree with Tycoon.
We like, yeah.
That's good. That's good.
No Ron in the house tonight, so we'll go with Tycoon.
There you go. Yeah, it's just Tycoon show. And again, you guys see Tycoon in the chat, man. He's a big friend of the show here. He comes on when he can with us as well. He has his own channel, the Fantasy Boardroom. We do have a link in the description there, so make sure you guys go help support him as well, and throw him a subscribe. Go do it real quick, and then come back and enjoy the rest of the show. We got Matt Rich in the house. He says, I'm in a 12-team first-year Dynasty League. There you go. He says it's full PPR, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, and a flex. I think he said 4 flex.
4 flex.
Yeah, so 4 flexes.
Right.
Go ahead. And he's 5-3. He's going for the ship. His roster is Hurts, Brees, Kamara, Amon-Ra, Olave, Keenan, Godwin, Ridley, Downs, Ingram. He said he's going to follow up with the recent move. He said he's trying to dominate with his wide receiver depth. That's what you want to do in Dynasty. Build out those wide receivers first. Get them young. Get them studly. And then when you're ready to compete, add those running backs in. One QB dynasty is really weird to me. Like, I prefer my dynasty to be super flex.
Super flex.
That's the only thing I have to say to that. But yeah, man. So I like that team, man. I like that team. So let us know what else you got going on.
QB, and I like the fact that it's 4 flex on there.
Yeah.
I don't mind the 1 QB, man. I don't mind that.
Yeah, it's not bad. I don't know. I'm a big time Superflex fan, man. Ever since I got into Superflex, it's like, yeah, you're just using more players. Like, I like when there's more players.
So he's coming back. So he's coming through now. Hold on.
So yeah, so we'll come through. All right.
Hold on. Just traded JSN, Charbonnet, 2025 and the 2026 first for Hurts. So he went out and got Hurts.
Ooh.
And Damian Pierce and Josh Downs, Evan Ingram's also traded Judy for 2024 and a second for Keenan, and as well as Josh Palmer and Zay Jones for Ridley. So that's what he was been doing this whole time to try to get this team.
So I like getting Hurts. I like getting Hurts. That was good.
Damian Pierce, not so much.
Trading Jason is kind of
iffy,
but that's okay. Got a little older. Josh Downs, at least he got a young piece. Evan Ingram helps at the tight end. I like the Judy in a second for Keenan. I think that's a great trade. Where you kind of lost me a little bit is Palmer and Zay Jones
for Ridley.
Oh no, Palmer and Zay Jones for Ridley.
So he went and got Calvin Ridley out of that.
Okay, all right. So yeah, as long as he got Ridley, and that's who he says he has right up top. Okay, yeah. So he does have Ridley. Okay,
he's coming up.
I think you did it great, man.
Rich is just coming. I love it. Keep going.
There you go, man.
We could trade Kamara for JT, but I'm all in and feel like Kamara wins me the ship for this year. But the opportunity to get him at a price right now, and he's the top 3 dynasty running back, it's hard to pass up. Thoughts? I would stick with Kamara.
Yeah, no. If you can go get JT for Kamara, like you got 1 year out of Kamara, and JT's on the rise. So if you can do a straight up Kamara for JT right now, who's much younger, and in basically the same type of situation, like you got to go get JT. So I would do it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, he did.
Yeah.
So you said,
I'm on the other side. I'm on the other side. I would stick to Kamara.
Yeah, and I'm like, I love Kamara too. Like, I got offered Kamara for ETN in a redraft league.
I understand what they're saying.
And I'm
age.
Like,
I'm just still
because it's the age, man. Like Kamara has like I think this is his last hurrah. Maybe he has a decent year next year.
Yeah.
But like JT, you should get for many years. Like you should get him still for his whole second contract. Remember, he got franchise tag. Like they're gonna, hopefully they don't double franchise tag him, but he'll either pay him and he's locked under contract for the next 4 or 5 years, and then you can ride him out until he gets to Kamara's age and then trade him off. But you should be set. And again, remember what Zach Moss has been doing in this offense when JT gets fully up to speed, because remember, like he's barely just getting through like his preseason. He did no OTAs. The dude didn't even practice since December of last year up until 2-3 weeks ago or whenever it was he came back. So like when he gets up to speed, like there's not going to be much difference between him and Kamara.
Yeah.
So the only thing that might happen is maybe he doesn't get the checkdowns that Kamara does, because we know Kamara checks down like crazy. But yeah,
which is important.
Like, you got to go get JT straight up for Kamara right now if you can. Yeah, and like Tycoon's saying, like their dynasty value is not even close. Like you said, you can make an argument, but I'm very adamant about that. Like I'm usually not very adamant telling people what to do, because like I want to make sure you make the decision, because if it backfires, I don't want you saying it's my fault. So, like we're just here to educate you, but something like that, I can't let you miss out on an opportunity like that. Like no matter what happens, it's the right move for what we know right now. You have to make that move.
For this instance, with the information we have, they're just going for a younger player. I like Kamara though.
Yeah, like he's saying, you could still win a chip with JT in that position. So I think you got to make that happen. And then maybe calm down. I mean, if you could still get good trades like that, but yeah, man, he's going for it, man. I like it. That's what's up. So there we go. Oh, and Matt says Tycoon, I feel the same way.
Sorry.
So there we go. Make sure you go drop Tycoon a sub as well. The fantasy boardroom. He's on Wednesday nights.
Trying to contribute to the chat, man.
Hell yeah,
he always
as he does,
show,
man.
Bro. I don't know why you don't just jump.
Oh, he already knows he has an open invite. Yeah, you just come on. But sometimes he's kind of like laying in bed with the lady, and he's just listening to us and chatting and stuff. Yeah, he can't get the whole setup. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I get it.
But he already knows, man. He already knows.
Maybe he's eating or whatever. Who knows? It's late.
Exactly. Yeah, and he says, yeah, and it's not just because he's younger; it's because he's a younger and an elite player on the
Yeah,
same
no, I get it. I
level
get
as
it. I get it. I get
Kamara.
it.
So yeah, for sure.
He's
All
definitely
right,
pretty
so
good.
there we go.
And we got to go back to one more here. Hold on, I was trying to throw
Oh,
this in here.
good
Dr.
stuff. Good
Clutch.
stuff.
Dr. Clutch.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Clutch, man. Ooh, I apologize.
Yeah, well,
So
we
good
got
thing
all
Frank
tied up
got
with
you.
Matt Rich right here.
Yeah,
But don't worry about it. I got you,
new
bro. I got you.
subscriber.
What's good, guys? Hope your night is going well. Yeah, we've been on here for almost
Yes,
2 hours
sir.
now. We're gonna wrap it up here pretty soon.
Yeah, yeah.
Who knows what- anyways, got a question for you. Need 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. D Hop, Downs, Higgins, Addison, Pickens, Mostert, and Damian Pierce.
All right, so let's go with
That
the
leaves
2
2
wide
wide
receivers
receivers and
first.
1 flex. So we're gonna go with. I'm gonna go with D Hop. Uh, and Downs. Shoot, I'm gonna go with the first 2. Downs has
That's
been on
funny.
fire lately, and D Hop. Well, let's see what he does over there. I mean, he had a pretty good wake up game this last week, and I think he continue that and fire that up again. Higgins has been the most traded, literally the guy that's been most traded. We looked up on the thing who's the most traded guy is T Higgins. So he's moving around because hey, he hasn't doing too much, not too bad, not too good. Addison got that new wide quarterback over there. Pickens, we were discussing that one earlier, right? Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, those are, I'm going with D Hop and Downs, the wide receiver, and then you got the 1 flex. I would start with Mostert over Damian Pierce.
Yeah, I mean, you can go
I
any. You
like to
could
have
go
I
Higgins,
like to have the
Addison,
wide receiver,
Pickens,
the
Mostert,
running
or
back. I
Pierce.
mean,
Yeah. So I honestly think I'm with you. I think I'm going D Hop, Downs, and Mostert.
yeah, those are the guys.
Yeah. I can't even say anything long about it. So there we go. Last one here, and then we'll get to our quick buy sell holds. He says he's not eating. He just can't be loud into the mic, or he'd be happy to jump on. So never trying to hijack anything though. Sometimes you have a lot of questions to get to, trying to hold it down here. Yeah. So
Yeah,
sometimes it's nice to
sure.
have somebody there in the chat
Yeah.
holding it down. But yeah, you always know Tycoon, man. You got to open an invite here. You just let me know. Hey, I want to jump on with you guys. You know, I'll shoot you the link, and you always welcome in here, brother. So there we go.
Are we
Let's
liking
see.
Trey McBride? Yes, we are liking Trey McBride. He was a hot waiver wire pick last week. But I want to go back to Matt Rich real quick because he's the juggernaut that's 8-0, who I would definitely face in the ship as Metcalf, Josh Jacobs,
See him. I think
Diggs, Kincaid,
McCaffrey.
Kirk. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's McCaffrey.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Metcalf, like DK. I was like, no,
No,
that
no,
don't say
no.
Metcalf.
McCaffrey.
Okay.
McCaffrey.
CMC.
Metcalf. I just said Metcalf because that's all he put in there.
Got it. Okay. My bad.
See, you didn't even know that. You know, that's I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, yes, we know who we're talking about. Kirk's Slant Boy. Who's Slant Boy? That's a new
Mike
one.
Thomas, Samboy.
Thomas. Oh, okay, nice. Tyler Lockett and Jerome Ford. So that's the other guys line up here. You're gonna have a good matchup.
I think
This
you
should
got
be a
him,
good
man.
game. I
I
think
think you got him.
you might pull this off.
I mean, CMC could just
McCaffrey's
wreck
the only
you,
one that
but
CMC's the only one you
I
got to worry
mean,
about.
come on.
But the rest of it, you should have. You should be all right.
That Diggs and Cup is nasty. Kincaid, I love Kirk. That's a good team. Lockett sounds like a team I would have for sure, minus the Josh Jacobs and Mike Thomas. But I literally own all
That's
those
why the
guys.
Kamara's boom potential against him has a lot of value. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've been there. You
But
want to be a
JT's
ship.
boom potential's like right
Yeah,
there.
right
It's
there
right
too.
there too. So either way, man, like you can't go wrong either way. Honestly, it is just because the only thing you really have to think about is because you traded a lot
Dynasty.
of picks already. Like you're going to be in the hole, and the whole goal is to try to win multiple championships, not just one. So
And if because you're trying to win now, it seems like you're trying to win now. And if
yeah,
you could get it
and you
younger,
still got
then you
to
don't
look
have
into
to
the
worry
future.
about because, like we said, Kamara maybe got one more this year, next year, and that's about it. I don't think he's going to go 3 more years. That's
Yeah.
going to be too fantasy relevant, at least elite fantasy. He'll still be playing football, but he's not going to be elite the way he is. The age will catch. Age catches everybody.
Right.
So,
That's for sure. Tycoon says you could beat that team. So he's saying the same thing. But he also said, then again, though, I have a lot of teams with Diggs, Kirk, and Slant Boy and Lockett, so I need them to be good championship week too. So yeah, that's what I was saying. I kind of have some of those guys that if I'm in the spot I need to be, I need them to have a good week too, including CMC. So so yeah. So it'll be tough, man, but we'll be hanging in there for you, man. So we
So
appreciate
hopefully
you
you give
coming
us
out, Matt.
a subscribe and a like, man, because yeah, we went through your team there.
Absolutely, man. Spent that time on it. We appreciate the support, man. Thanks for coming out. So we'll wrap this up, man. Again, we
Yeah.
talked a lot of trades in here. A lot of guys, we'll do here, and as you guys know, for our buy sell trade, or buy sell hold segment. Let me bring it up here. Buy sell hold. We just kind of give off a list of names of kind of the most traded guys right now. CBS Sports Fantasy, CBSSports.com is where we get this list from. And then, of course, just, other names that we've kind of been talking about here tonight. So we'll start with their most traded guy, T. Higgins. Buy, sell, or hold T. Higgins.
I would sell.
You're selling?
I think that's why he's the most traded. He just hasn't been what he has been in the past, and I think that you could get what you can out of him. Chase is definitely the guy to have over there, and I don't know. Maybe he's going to get better now that everything's kind of clicking for them. But I think that you could use him to get somebody else better.
Yeah. And he's not fully healthy yet. I mean, since he's come back, he played only 54 snaps the first week against Seattle. Then they had their bye. Then he played only 67% of the snaps against the Niners. Which is, again, I think to me, I'm trying to actually buy him if I can somewhere. If you can come up on a guy that's part of this type of offense that likes to throw, attached to Joe Burrow, like he checks off of, a lot of boxes, only 24 years old. So, that's where I'm looking.
And that's also why he's one of the most traded guy right now, because of that. He has been injured, hasn't been producing what he can, but he has that potential to really be that top guy, because he wasn't that far behind Chase for those years and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I'm
And he's
more
in a
like,
contract year, so he's going to have to try to ball out because I don't think
yeah,
they're re-signing him this next year. They can afford both of them, so they're going to have to make a decision. So,
he's gonna have to try to do
I
something.
mean, they
Maybe
just
look
paid
good.
Joe Burrow, freaking basically
Yeah,
gave him part of the
and paid him
franchise.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yikes. So there we go. So let's go on to our next one here. We have Calvin Ridley. Buy, sell, or hold Calvin Ridley.
I'm just gonna hold. I'm not sure how much you can get from him, and hopefully there's better days ahead, because they've been working on it, in Jacksonville there, and yeah, I think it's just hold right now.
All right. If somebody offered you Josh Downs for Calvin Ridley, would you make that trade?
Ooh, that's very close.
Only because I heard you pick up on that. You really like Downs, and I haven't really got him anywhere. I just looked up his half PPR numbers, and they're actually pretty good.
Oh,
Since week
they're
5,
really good, dude.
he's
They're
had double
really good.
digits, 12, 10, 21, 10. I mean, that's pretty
I gotta
decent.
bring him down off the taxi squad and start firing him up in the Dynasty League.
Ooh, check you out.
Yeah, he's in the taxi on mine, and I've been watching the point stack up over there. I'm like,
We could use that in
enough
the
of
starting
that.
lineup over here.
We could throw
Hey,
that in
I
the
play
starting
you this
lineup.
week. I saw I play you this week. You're lucky you got me with CMC and ETN on a buy, though.
Just the right setup.
Everyone, I have everybody on a buy this week, so you got me on a good week. So I'm take
I've
my
been
L.
throwing up some nice points.
You have, dude. I'm actually lightweight worried about your team, so I wish you would have traded off Keenan Allen a long time
Yeah,
ago.
right. But with that being said, I mean, we're just, I don't know. I think I would just kind of hold on Ridley, just to see what happens. I mean, you're going into a week 9 bye, then they hit San Francisco right after that, which is
Who's
not
been
good.
susceptible to the pass? No, they've
Yeah,
been getting destroyed
yeah.
by the
They
pass lately.
pass, but I mean, hey, they just got another piece over there on the defense to
Yeah,
pass
we
rush
did.
against the quarterback.
Yes, we did.
Maybe they won't be so successful. You know what I mean? Because those quarterbacks are going to have to do some fast reads now. Um,
You better get rid of the ball, baby. Let's go.
yeah.
And when they
So I
get
mean,
tired, we got
but I
Gregory
mean,
coming in
what
too.
can you get for the guy though? That's what I always think is like, who can you? Is he valuable right now? You got to sell him high sometimes on a guy
Yeah.
like that just to get the same value that you drafted him at. Because I mean, what he went 5th or 6th round this year?
So he was going
Ridley?
like second round. Ridley was.
Really? Shit, that's too
Yeah.
early. I would've
He's
went
been a
5th.
disappointment. Yeah, he's been a
Yeah,
disappointment. So,
yeah,
and you know me, the whole offseason, I was like, why get Ridley when you could just get Christian Kirk in the 6th or 7th?
yeah. That's
Like,
what
I'll
you're
just
saying
take
too.
him. Yeah, that was my whole thing. And then we all got proven wrong week 1, but then I've been right ever since. So,
Yeah. And then
uh,
Ridley, Trevor Lawrence just hasn't been doing what he could be doing. So that's
he
the other
needs Zay
part.
Jones. That offense needs Zay Jones back, strangely enough. So,
Right?
If you look at the numbers when Zay Jones is in there, they do great.
They do good. Let's
Except for
hope they get
everybody
Zay
but Kirk.
Jones
But yeah.
there.
So anyway, all right. So we'll try to get through this here.
So-
Joe Mixon, running back, Cincinnati. Buy, sell, or hold Joe Mixon.
I would sell. I'm not fond of mixing the numbers and just the poor.
This 5-touchdown game is coming though, Frank.
Yeah, I'm not waiting. I can't hold my breath that long.
Man, he just did the Niners
would-
dirty, man. Came back
yeah,
home,
I would
16
sell
carries,
high.
87
I would-
yards, and a touchdown, 3 for 23 in the air,
I would sell high while
18.5.
you can. I mean, he's averaging what 6.5, maybe 7 points a week. No double digits. That's not good enough for me.
Half PPR, 8, 11, 13, 8, 11, 7, 18.5. I mean, it's decent. He gets Buffalo this week, Houston, Baltimore, all
Pitt.
kind of okay defenses
Okay,
there.
defenses,
Baltimore's a
yeah.
little tough. Pittsburgh, and then playoff schedules, home against Minnesota, at Pittsburgh, at KC. So I don't mind buying. I don't mind buying him. If you can, like, if he's like, I don't want to say like a throw-in piece, but maybe he's
I'm
not the
a
main target. Like maybe he's not the main target, but you can get someone like that. Would you rather have Henry or Mixon?
I would rather have Henry or Mixon. I would rather have Henry.
Okay, fair enough. All right, I
So
won't go too
Will
far on
falls
that.
off of Henry, then we're riding them. You know what I mean? Like, and they
Yeah.
haven't fallen off yet. And
Najee
I
or
know-
Mixon?
we were just looking at those Najee numbers too. I'm mixing. Yeah.
So that's
Just
where
'cause
you
he
would go
doesn't
Mixon
share.
over
Just because he
Najee.
doesn't share. You know what I mean? Because Jalen,
Okay.
is splitting carries with him. Like we were just saying, he's literally
Right.
finally like a 50-50 split over to Pittsburgh. That never happens. So,
Javonte Williams or Mixon?
Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about David Montgomery or Mixon?
Oh, Montgomery easy.
Gibbs or
Montgomery first.
Mixon?
Both of them. Both of them. Either one.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so
Hey,
next
look
guy
at
on the list.
Typhoon, though. What's up? This is Frank's low key been unlucky in the Dynasty. Definitely a possible sleeping giant. I'm trying to make
Yeah.
a run for it, man. I
His
did that
points
trade
scored
earlier.
are crazy. He's just
Yeah.
kind of had some like bad matchups, like where he plays like the one or two teams that score a little bit higher than that
Been
week.
higher than me, but on average,
Yeah.
my numbers are up there this year. So
Your total points for are pretty up there. Yeah.
yeah, so we're doing all right, man.
You're
Hopefully,
doing all right.
we get a shot.
Hopefully we
Get
can
a
just
shot.
keep getting those L's and stay down there and not have to worry about you.
No, none of that.
He's making his run. You better make a move. Compete with me and Tycoon. Tycoon's killing it. He was scoring like 200 points a week over there.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to come for him. I'm sleeping. I scored like 184 last week with no Jefferson and Mahomes scoring me like 7 points. So y'all better watch out. Hopefully I'm the
Right.
sleeping giant. And I would have one more win, except for I lost by 0.3 week 1 against Nick. So
That's
Hey.
always the rough one.
yeah, that's how I started the year off, man. Thought I was ready to go. Jefferson, Chase, Mahomes, Burrow, ETN, Walker, like stacked, and then 0.3 loss to the defending
I've
champ who I
lost
lost
by
to last year.
less than a point,
Man.
won by less than a point so far this year. So I'm gonna get
Yeah,
out.
I've had multiple of those. All right, Devontae Adams, buy, sell, hold Devontae. They don't want to hear about our leagues. Buy, sell, hold Devontae Adams.
Man, I think you got to sell. I don't.
Got to sell.
It's too uncertain. He has been quarterback proof, but I just don't think that it's going to continue that way. The line over there in Vegas is not going to protect any quarterback behind there, so I don't think it's going to get any better no matter who's throwing to him. And especially now we got a rookie throwing to him. Like best of luck to you, but I would try to move on from him while you still can, because 1 week of seeing a bad quarterback play, you're not gonna be able to get rid of him.
Yeah, don't buy now. Maybe wait till after this week, and if it is a bad week for him, then you could buy a little lower.
Yeah,
and then it
little
might
even
make the
lower.
upside worth it. Yeah, it may make the upside worth it. But let me throw some names at you. Would you trade Gabe Davis for Adams, or would you rather have Davis?
Man, he just finally had his little touchdown and all that.
I'm just trying to see how low we're at here with
No,
Adams, man.
we're not that low in David.
Okay, okay.
That's really low.
Okay. What about George Pickens for Devontae Adams?
No, that's still a little bit too kind of low. No,
Deontay Johnson and his 14 targets for Devontae Adams?
See, Deontay Johnson is up and coming now. You know what I mean? Just come back from the injury, whatnot. I think that's a good spot right there.
What about Brandon Ayuk?
I don't think so. The Ayuk owner would go for it.
Okay. Nico
Like, you know what I
Collins
mean?
or Devontae Adams?
I think that's a good range. I think that's a good range right there.
Would you rather have one of the Denver wide receivers, Sutton or Judy, over Devontae Adams, or you take your chances with Adams?
2 weeks ago, I would have said no way, because the Denver was just looking like garbage, but they actually put some
Judy
stuff
had a little
together.
breakout
Yeah,
game
they
this
actually
last
put
week,
some
low
stuff
key.
together. I was like, oh, man. And they got that win over KC. So I might stick to the Denver guys for a little bit longer.
Oh wow! All right, Rashid Shaheed or Devontae Adams.
Oh, see, he's coming up, man. That's around the same range, though. That's around that
wow!
same
See,
range.
we're getting crazy. All right,
Yeah,
so I'm buying Adams from Frank
yeah.
if I have him. Frank's trying to get rid of him at all costs at this point.
Not
He'll
at all
take
cost,
anybody
but
for him.
I'm just saying, like,
He'll take anybody for him at this point. No,
yeah,
I mean, hey, I'm not saying you're wrong either. So you know
just
me though.
saying.
I'm like, if you're not first, you're last. So like, if I get my hands on Adams, I don't care if I'm throwing him the ball. I'll take my chances.
I think you should.
So
I think you the perfect trade would be JSN.
I think I would take Adams. Like if I had Jason, I would trade him for Adams in a heartbeat.
Really? There you
Oh
go.
yeah, easily. That's what I'm saying. I wish you had Adams somewhere. I can come buy him from you. You're at the right price. At least you're not drinking the Kool-Aid. You still don't have those beer goggles on for
No,
Adams. You're like,
no,
I'll take anyone who's playing
yeah.
that has a decent quarterback that could get him the ball. Oh man, that Monday night game did some wonders. Just dropped his value like crazy.
You
Jimmy
take this
G's. It was Jimmy
so low,
G's
you're
fault.
right. The game finally had his little touchdown. That's good stuff, right? Telling you, man. He's I feel the same though. That's what I'm
That's
saying. I was like,
hilarious.
yeah.
Oh man, that's hilarious. All right, so we'll go through a couple more of these here, and we'll call it a night.
We'll
Um,
get back to you. Sue the music. I'd seen your. We'll get you. Last question.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. If you guys have anything, make sure you drop it in the chat now, or forever hold your peace until Friday's show.
Yeah.
You have to get Classic's
We're gonna
opinion
wrap
on
it up
that,
here.
and then Frank and I will be back here with you guys on Monday. So Devonta Smith, buy so hold Devonta Smith.
I'm holding and buying.
All right, so you're holding him. What
'Cause he's getting better
about?
days ahead? He finally got his stuff together the other day, and I think it's going to be, they'll improve. I think that he's going to have a better second half than the first half of the season.
Nice, Javonte Williams, buy so hold.
I would hold and maybe possibly buy because he's getting better too.
Yeah, you're seeing the snap percentages increase,
Yeah.
40, 45, 42, only 17 against Chicago week 2. I think that's where he got a little nicked up. Then he missed the Jets game, came back, and only saw 35% of the snaps against Kansas City, the first game against Kansas City. Then since then, getting healthier, played 53% of the snaps against Green Bay week 7, and then played 63% of the snaps against Kansas City just this last week. So 27 carries, only 86 yards. Not a great average. 3 catches for 19 yards, but did get the touchdown. 17.3 half PPR points. Looking okay at this point. Playoff schedules at Detroit, home against New England, home against the Chargers. So yeah, I'd consider him a
Not
buy
bad.
and a hold.
Yeah, I'd consider a buy and hold definitely. I like
All
it.
right.
He
And
finally got straight. Finally got healthy. Should be all right.
yeah, you still got to worry about, but the farther he gets away from it, it works out. So I was just, like I said, I'm wrong with him, like from drafting him. But if you could trade for him, then I'm all for getting him now that he showed he's been able to stay healthy because you didn't invest that draft capital. It's already hard enough with the injuries you have to deal with that you don't know to healthy guys, let alone dealing with guys that are already dealing with issues. So that's just all. I don't know if I'll ever change off that. Josh Jacobs, buy so hold Josh Jacobs.
I think it's a hold. Where's the
Still
offense
see?
going to go? Where's the offense going to go? It's got to go through him.
Rookie guy. Yeah, check
They're
downs
gonna
maybe.
feed that ball. I mean,
Give
it's
him the
not going to
ball.
be pretty. But if you're in half PR, full PPR, that just going to get a lot of touches. So it's like,
Hopefully.
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I may not be pretty, but he's going to get some.
For sure. Chris Olave. Buy, sell, hold Chris Olave. We were talking about him earlier.
Yeah, I think you're going to hold. I don't think you can
All
sell
right.
him.
Yeah, I'm trying to buy.
And
If
yeah,
anyone's selling.
yeah, exactly. If anything, it's going to get better days ahead. He's going to catch that ball eventually. Like
Yeah.
he's not going to keep dropping it. And he's been, he's shown he can catch the ball. So it's not like he's not a proven commodity. He's just
For
not
sure.
locked in right now.
For sure. Ramondre Stevenson. Buy, sell, hold Ramondre Stevenson.
Sell.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna sell
Fire
2.
sale.
I'll hold them in a couple spots. If I can sell them and get something decent, I will. I just don't know if anyone's buying. So I think you're kind of stuck holding if you have them at this point. Justin Jefferson coming off the IR potentially as soon as week 10.
You got to hold that guy. You can't get rid of him, and he can't get rid of him for anything worthwhile right now.
So
And
you're
if he
buying
does
him
have
too,
a
right?
yeah, if he has a decent game, then you could buy him. If you're on the other side where you're like, I'm not sure, then you could have that decent game and sell him, and then hopefully, you know what I mean. Hopefully, he doesn't come back and burn you and say, oh yeah, he was still the good guy and this and that. But with the rookie quarterback and all that other stuff going on, you know, what I mean, it can't be. It's not looking good, basically, for him.
For sure. And we'll do 2 more here. Aaron Jones. I still hold Aaron Jones. I'm holding and buying
I'd
if I
hold.
can
I'd
at a
hold.
reasonable price.
Yeah,
All right. And
I'm
last
not
one,
worried. He
Garrett.
should be coming back and doing more.
Okay. I'm going to switch it up. Last one, Tony Pollard. I still hold Tony Pollard.
I'm selling at this point. He's not
Ooh,
what he's definitely not
from the
what you
Cowboys.
drafted him. Yeah, exactly. He's not what you drafted him for. He was definitely in the top 5 or whatever, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, this guy's gonna
Yeah,
get
he
all
was
the
going
praise.
like
He's gonna
second
do this."
round, into the
Yeah,
second round, beginning of the third,
yeah. And now
2-3
it's like,
turn.
yeah, now it's not. It didn't work out, man. It's he's a flop or whatever. What do you call
A
him? He's
bust.
a bust.
Yeah,
He's a
he's a
bust, man.
bust.
He was a bust
So
this year.
yeah.
So
Would you trade
I hate to
Pollard for
say it.
Henry? Would you trade Pollard for Henry?
Shoot, I think they were trying to trade Henry to Dallas to help him out. So, so yeah, I
What
would.
about would you trade away Pollard for Javonte Williams?
You know, I would take a shot on that. Why not?
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, there you go. So that'll kind of wrap it up. We did talk about a lot of the guys as we were going through the Q&As tonight. So we'll get in the chat here, and we just hit that 2-hour mark. So and it's almost midnight here for us. So
Yeah, we'll
let's call it a
finish it
night.
up here. Yeah, we're gonna finish up,
Um,
people, guys, because the soothing music had a question
Go ahead.
here. Great work, guys. What's your thoughts on this team? 8-man PPR: Lamar, Bijan, Hall, CD, Thielen, Laporta, Etienne. What can I approve? So he's like an 8-man PPR. That's like really shallow, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just want studs at every position that you can. It might be hurting at with Bijan there, but I like Hall. Hopefully Bijan, does something here lately, soon.
Yeah, sooner
CD,
than later.
Thielen, not bad. I mean, Thielen's not a name you would expect in an 8-man PPR, but he's been producing.
He's been
I like
balling.
he would be a wide receiver too in an 8-man PPR. Laporte is great as far as tight end. Obviously, if you can somehow try to get Kelsey, I would. In an 8-man, that's maybe able to buy him low. Right now with
In
the
an
game they
8-man
just came
league, he
off of,
definitely went number 1 for
it gives you a
somebody,
lot
so
of
it's gonna be
advantage.
hard to
Yeah,
do
he's
that.
probably top 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
so maybe they're panicking. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you're. I mean, you're sitting in a good spot. Big time ETN fan there. So, yeah. What would if you're grading this? What would you? I don't know really how to kind of grade it as an 8-man because I think they're all like A teams when you're with
Yeah,
8-man.
it's really
But
hard. Yeah.
it's what people think. Oh, 8-man's so easy because you're playing all good guys. It's actually harder because you got to make like some big time tough decisions. Like 12 team, you're pretty much stuck kind of starting guys, just like whoever's available or like who you
Available, yeah.
got. Because
So little
like,
out there
yeah,
that
like you just got to get lucky
yeah,
and kind of just
pick the
say you
right
got the
guy
right
at the right
guys and they
week of the waiver
stay.
wire that
Yeah,
you went on. Yeah.
when you're trying to decide between like, you got to start 2 out of like the top 5 running backs or something like that. Like it's hard to make those decisions. So I know what you mean. On that. So I think you're in a good spot. Again, just depends on how the rest of the teams are built. I'm worried about the CMC team and the Kelsey team and an 8-man. I'm worried about the Jalen Hurts and Mahomes and Josh Allen team. Those are probably the teams that we're going to give you a run for your money, depending on how they're constructed. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'd have to know if what else you have on there.
Yeah.
That's just the whole lineup right there. If you got any bench
Go into the
guys, whatever.
description. Go in the description. Join the private sleeper league. Send us a shot of the draft board, and we'll grade your team based on all that. We haven't done that in a few months, so I don't mind
Oh
doing
yeah,
it now.
yeah. I haven't seen
We
the
haven't
draft board
graded
in a while. Yeah.
haven't graded a draft board in a while, so I don't
We were
mind going
tired
back
of
to
that
that.
for a while. We're like,
That's our specialty there.
every
Yeah,
week.
absolutely.
I was like, whoa.
For sure. So yeah, I appreciate it. Soothing music, man. Appreciate you coming out and supporting us, man. So there we go.
Matt Rich is back again. Downs or for Devontae Dynasty.
Downs for Devontae
Josh
Adams.
Downs for Devontae Adams Dynasty.
See, this is where you're at, right? This is what we are just talking about.
Yeah,
Like, would you
yeah.
rather have this or
You,
this?
you were just looking at the numbers. At this point, I might go Downs, man, because how many more years you got out of Devontae?
Gosh,
I
I
mean,
want to see.
you were
I
saying
need to
that
see a
you
game
and
with
whatnot.
O'Connell, man. I need to see like another game or two with O'Connell
Yeah, but
and
that's
see
just
what he
this
could
year. We got
develop
to think
into.
dynasty. He got to think dynasty. What
Yeah, he
about
is 31 years old, 31
know?
years young.
Yeah,
Still think you have a year or two with them.
solid years. You still got 2-3 solid years probably. But Downs just got into the league. He's a rookie.
Yeah, but then you might have A Rich coming back. Remember, he wasn't doing much with A Rich. He hasn't popped off. He's been popping off since some more standard, quarterback's been in there in Minshew.
Yeah.
When A Rich was there, Downs wasn't doing nothing.
No.
So I think I'd say Devontae, he does have the namesake. Win your championship this year, sell him in the offseason, and maybe acquire some picks or, a player and a pick and see where he can go from there. So, yeah.
If Frank would say Downs, I don't know what Ross
says. You called it.
You called
it. He called it.
I do like
there you
Downs.
go.
I'm moving on from the Devontae situation. Just all the way in general.
I see that. So what else he said? Tycoon said, "Sell Pollard's ass." One of my worst calls this year. Thought he'd push for RB5. Yikes! We all did, bro. We all did.
Yeah, we do.
We all seen it. It was there. But I don't know if you guys remember, and I have no Pollard. So you guys remember I was saying in the offseason with McCarthy calling plays, talking about, he wants to kind of just run the ball, play more ball control. I knew they weren't going to run as many plays. I didn't think the offense was going to be as potent as it was with what's his face that's over in Kellen Moore. Over with the Chargers now.
Lose a step or whatever, right?
Yeah, I was like, I just don't think it's gonna be there. Like, I don't think he'd win the game 10-7 if he could with that defense, And the only reason I think like things have even picked up a little bit now is because they lost Diggs. Like, if they still had lockdown corner in Diggs, like I don't think they'd have to even really do much more else. Like their defense is the one putting up a lot of the points when you see the scores.
But honestly,
like, literally,
we didn't miss that much in the lockdown corner because help me out. His name is Caleb Brown. Not Caleb Brown. Bland. Deron Bland. He's on his third pick 6.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, literally, their defense is scoring
Like,
more points than the offense right now.
So it's like not that bad. You know what I mean? Like, I know Diggs is better. Don't get me wrong, but Bland is not. He's not a scrub, is what I'm trying to get at. He didn't just like drop that whole corner or whatever, the side or whatever.
Yeah.
Last one for soothing music. Can Bijan turn it around?
Only person that knows the answer to this question is Arthur Smith, my friend.
Yeah.
The talent's there. Like, there's no question. There's no question about that. The talent's there.
Just need to feed him the ball more and let it go.
Go. And like maybe because they know they're not competing now, like why put all the wear and tear on them right now? Like if you think you kind of take a step back out of the fantasy realm and think of it more as that. But they are trying to win games. The usage when they use them is the weirdest things. Like you would think they would maybe use them in the red zone, a little more often. Not running in between the tackles, but just get more creative, running screens, misdirection, get them on the edge, stuff like that. But like they just want to do all that with Tyler Algier, and he's been converting. So like if Tyler Algier is doing good, Bijan would be doing good if he had those same opportunities and or both his and Algier's opportunities. So I don't know, man. I hope he does, but I mean, it took him until week 8. Yeah, I'm like, I have him too, and like it took him until week 8 to score his first rushing touchdown. Like this guy was drafted as RB3 overall. It's almost like reminiscent of CH all over again. Like that's how I feel this year. Like I told myself I'm never drafting a rookie running back again as my RB1. Like I'm just not doing it after I got burned by CH.
I won't ever do it
again. I fell for the hype. I held off for so long. I had him ranked as like my number 9 running back, like coming into the season, which is where I should have kept him, and that was even still too high now, knowing what we know now. And then like right at the end, I just caught the hype, man, and I moved him up to like 5 or like 3 or 4, even at one point, and then went back to like 5. And I was just like, yeah, that was a bad call. I should have known. Like I knew better, and still got caught up in the hype, man. So it happens. Those hype trains.
1 year. You need to see it from 1 year, even if you miss out that 1 year. It's
okay.
Like
it was the whole Breece Hall situation, because remember Breece, like that was the reason why I didn't draft Breece last year. But then I felt kind of vindicated because he ended up getting hurt, but you don't want to take a victory lap because
No,
someone got
that's not.
hurt. You
That's
can't
that's
predict
not
an
a victory
injury.
lap. Yeah,
Like that dude was balling,
balling. Yeah,
like balling. And like I thought Bijan was going to do the same thing. Like we all thought Bijan was maybe better than Brees as a prospect, but yeah, Arthur Smith, man, whatever it is. So anyway, so that's our Bijan thing. Let's get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this thing up. Let's
Gotta
see.
talk
What do we
about our
got
other
here?
sponsor.
Absolutely, man. Underdog Fantasy. For those of you guys who don't know, make sure you guys go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app in your Google or Apple store or whatever it's called. Underdog Fantasy, they're a real money best ball platform with some great preseason tournaments like their Best Ball Mania 4, where the winner gets 3 million, second was 2 million, and third place is $1 million. So they were making 3 millionaires. Basically, they also have their weekly best ball drafts, kind of similar to a DFS style. So make sure you guys go check those out. But really, what I like in season are their pick'em contests, man. Those are awesome. You basically just pick higher or lower for players' projected rushing or receiving yards, or a combination of both. Maybe higher or lower the number of touchdowns they may score. Quarterbacks, you can guess higher or lower for their completions. And they even have like defensive players. You can guess higher or lower on tackles, sacks, even interceptions. Basically, you put your entry in, and you can win up to 20 times your money. And then in addition to that, they even have their 100K sweepstakes, where at least 1,000 people will get $100 for including the featured pick on their contest entry. So make sure you guys go check that out. And then for every yard over that the guy would get, they're going to give another person $100. So they're doing a bunch of different, additions, getting people hyped up to come check out their platform. So they're great, man. I love those pick'ems, and hopefully you guys like them too. So make sure you guys go.
Favorite.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Special. I don't think this is the current one anymore, right?
No, that is we're good.
Okay.
We'll get there. So when you sign up, make sure you guys go use that promo code GetRight, and you'll receive that 100% deposit match when you make your first deposit, now up to $500. And they are going to keep that here for a while, but don't wait. Make sure you guys go in there. So you can deposit up to 500, and they'll match it another 500. And then in addition to the deposit match for the new customers, like you see here, you'll get basically a free pick. So basically this week it's going to be, can you pick it higher or lower than a half a total yard? So make sure you guys go check that out. Use that promo code GetRight and get into a pick'em contest today.
That's what I'm saying. I like
So
it.
there we go.
This is my favorite part of it too.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, man. So good stuff there. And so other than that, excuse me. Other than that, make sure you guys check out our other affiliate channels. We have Tim and AJ over at the Fantasy Frontline podcast. You have the Checkdown podcast with Cody McGoat, Shirtless Pat, Greg, and the fellows over there. And then coming soon, you'll have the Dead Zone Fantasy Show with our boy Adam J. You guys know him as Dim Boys out there in the chat. One of our first subscribers here to the channel, good friend of ours. So make sure you guys go check them out. And when we do that 1,000 subscriber giveaway, you're going to have to be subscribed to all 4 of our channels. So our main channel as well as our 3 affiliate channels to be eligible to win that ring. So the links are all in the description. And then, like I said, we have our boy Tycoon with the Fantasy Boardroom. And then our other boy Martin from the Dynasty Pylon. Their links are down there as well as big time friends of the show. So help support them and catch their live streams and their content when you're watching your YouTube. So other than that, man, Frank, you got anything else you want to add? Or are you ready to just hit the sack?
And you're welcome, Smokey the Cat. We'll see you on the next one, man.
Absolutely. We'll be back here on Friday for Start Sit, game by game previews. So you'll see Classic Mike again Sunday morning for those last minute active inactives. Frank and I will be back here next Monday to overreact and get you started with your waiver wires for week 10. So for myself, man, for Frank, for Classic Mike, and for our boy Dustin, who you'll see his face here soon when we do this 1,000 subscriber giveaway. From all of us here at Get Right, man, good luck, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace out.
Ooh, I almost ended the stream again instead of doing the.
Fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go